And good evening and welcome in. The close of the regular season here tonight from Mount Pleasant as the 3-6 Rockets of Forrest take on the 7-1 Tigers of Mount Pleasant. Good afternoon, Troy Cashin, Noble Mays, Ricky Sweeney, Mr. Gabe Hall, and Mr. Corey Clark bringing you the action here tonight as the Rockets still have a chance to get into the playoffs tonight. It is a slim one, but there is still hope amongst the Rockets.
That's all you can ask for, gentlemen, is an opportunity. So it still gives you the motivation to play for something. I know you always want to go with that intrinsic motivation and say we're going to play for ourselves and play for the team, but it's always nice to have an extra incentive to be able to play for it, gentlemen.
Yes, most definitely. And we got a chance to speak with Coach Stevenson today, and he's going to kind of sum up what we're talking about. It's always better to know, hey, at least you got something to play for tonight other than pride. They do have to have some things fall right. First of all, they have to take care of business here themselves against a one-loss Mount Pleasant team. They've got to win tonight. They've got to hope that Summertown pulls off a successful senior night as they entertain Cascade tonight. It must be Summertown picking up a win and the Rockets picking up a win for the Rockets to make it into the playoffs as a 4 seed.
And I'm in the same camp that Coach is in. You always want to play for pride. You always want to play for yourself. But it's a competitive sport. And at the end of the day, competition is played for a reward or some type of award or something of that nature. So there's always something else attached other than the intrinsic motivation, gentlemen.
It is a wonderful afternoon for football here. Temperatures at present time, 69 degrees. The temperature during the game is supposed to stay in the 60s, maybe by 10 o'clock down in the upper 50s. So we're going to have a beautiful evening, no rain in sight. You cannot ask for any better weather for the last weekend in October.
Yeah, we've got a few seniors that they don't want to let this be their last game. They want to play one more game after this. They want to make those playoffs. So those guys, hopefully they've got something in their hearts deep down in there that they're going to bring out tonight and make this game memorable.
Boy, I tell you, the thing for them right now, if they could have just picked up that Richland win, they would be sitting in a much better position right now. And, of course, we look back through this season, some near misses that the record and the postseason chances would be a lot better. But here tonight, it is what it is. You got to win and have a little help. But at least there still is a chance for the Rockets. Let's take our first break of the night. We'll return after these commercials. Hometown banking. It's having your decisions made by a bank right here in your town, not in another city, county, or even state. It's neighbors and friends who know your name and take the time to greet you when you walk in. It's modern technology such as online banking and mobile check deposits while still being able to talk to a living, breathing human. Come visit us at 4641 Nashville Highway or call us at 364-7888. First Commerce Bank, your first choice for hometown banking, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Moving forward with strong tradition. It's the town's motto, but it holds so true today. The town of Chapel Hill is balancing expanded growth with preserving the small town traditions that make it special. The town's administration and employees would like to take this time to reaffirm their commitment to the citizens of Chapel Hill and to wish the Rockets and Lady Rockets success in their upcoming seasons. From the home of the Lions Super Bowl of the South, the town of Chapel Hill says, "Go Rockets!"
And welcome back as we get set for football action here tonight. And two teams at this juncture, fellas, if you look back to last year, in entirely different positions. Mount Pleasant just trying to close out the season and get into this season. Meanwhile, the Rockets rolling last year as they swept their region opponents last year. This year, of course, Mount Pleasant in the top spot, sailing along undefeated, looking for an undefeated region season here tonight. Meanwhile, the Rockets struggling in region play and just needing some help to get into the playoffs. What a difference a year makes.
Yes, indeed. Go from being king on the hill last year to now trying to put on that little Cinderella slipper this time. So difference in the year, and maybe you can play spoiler, gentlemen.
You know, and that's the thing right now. You got to have this game if you're the Rockets. And let's take a look at how these teams got to this point in the season. Rockets at 3-6, started out the season 55-24 victors over Eagleville. Followed that up in week 2 with a 23-6 win over Cornersville. They were ranked number 2 in the state after week 2. But then, of course, the difficulties began. Loretta beating them 44-28. That's followed up by a loss to Moore County 46-21. They get back on the winning track, pick up their first region win against Summertown 17-9. Then it was a tough one against Marion County, losing with just a few seconds left in the contest, 42-35. The next week, of course, one that everybody wants to kind of put out of their memory banks, that 49-0 shellacking by Cascade. That was followed up by another squeaker loss to Richland, 42-41. And then last week, 35-14 against East Robertson. They have come in tonight, speaking of the Rockets, scoring 234 points on the season in 9 games. That's a hefty 26 a game, but they have given up 297 points this year, 33 points per game. Meanwhile, Mount Pleasant, they are coming in 7-1, and if you ask why they are not 8-1 here, they had a couple of bye weeks. Only 9 games on the regular season schedule. Started off the year 30-2 winners over East Hickman. They beat Scotts Hill 43-0. Cascade 20-13. Loretta 32-21. Their only loss of the year coming to 5A Columbia 32-20. They beat Richland 38-28, Summertown 34-7, and Spring Hill 24-0. They come in scoring 241 points on the season. That is a 30.1 points per game average, giving up 103 points this year. That is just under 13 points per game. So Tigers are rolling, but Noble, I'm going to say this. Don't want to diminish anything that Mount Pleasant has done this year, but you look at that East Robertson game last week. East Robertson, great players. Prince, Groves, tremendous 1-2 punch for them. But the Rockets right in that game, had they converted in the red zone, it's a little bit different story. Mount Pleasant, right now, East Hickman, not world beaters. Scotts Hill, not world beaters. Cascade shellacked us. We don't have anything to say, but they're not a great football team. Close game there. Loretta 32-21. Columbia struggling. They lose by 12 there. Beat Richland by 10, Summertown by 27. Spring Hill's terrible, 24-0 win. You got to play the guys that are in front of you, but right now, I mean, we know they are talented just from looking at them, but the schedule has not been one that's really tested them a lot.
It has not. I'll throw my hat in the ring also, Mr. Sweeney, as I'm looking at the schedule that T-Roy just went down. Not only East Robertson, but when you go and you look at the narrow loss to Richland and then the Marion County game in which I watched you and Troy do as I was out of town, that game there, although upsetting and disappointing, Marion County has some athletes as well. And to Troy's point, Marion County and East Robertson athletes and what I've seen the Forest Rockets put on the field, very well capable of shutting down these Tigers for Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, they are. The game on the schedule that jumps out at me on the Rocket side of it is the 49-0 Cascade. We just didn't show up for that game, and a couple of those other games that same games you just mentioned, we could have turned out a little bit different. And the game that I'm looking at for Mount Pleasant that jumps out at me, and Troy said it, Spring Hill not very good. They shut out Spring Hill 24-0, but Spring Hill not very good, but still that's the game that jumps out at me.
Yeah, a lot of things that we're going to find out tonight there. This is going to be, and we'll go over this in a little bit as well, this is going to be a super patchwork lineup tonight for the Rockets. We'll get into that when we return.
Amigo's Mexican Grill is the place you'll find all your authentic favorites, from burritos to enchiladas to sizzling fajitas, all served fast and fresh. Dine in, order online, or call in your order at 364-2222. Also, Amigos has catering services available for your next big occasion as well. Good food, good times at Amigos Mexican Grill, 216 South Horton Parkway. Visit their other locations in Lewisburg and Spring Hill. Amigos, proud supporters of the Rockets.
Lewisburg Animal Hospital serves the veterinary needs of Marshall County. They've grown to a 4-doctor practice specializing in small animal medicine. They offer advanced medicine, surgery, and nursing care in a personal and relaxed environment with the utmost compassion for their patients. For your pet's grooming and boarding needs, Maggie Rue Pet Retreat and Grooming Salon is located adjacent to the hospital. Call 931-359-5945 to schedule an appointment for your pet.
And welcome back as we get set for football action here, the regular season finale for the Rockets. They're hoping it's not the season finale tonight, but they've got to have some help here as they take on Mount Pleasant here this afternoon. And Noble, injuries have been a key theme for the Rockets throughout the season. You lose Brenton Burchell, game number 1, key offensive and defensive player. After that, injuries continue to mount, and tonight they are playing a starting front, up front offensively, that has only one guy, Mikey Stoddard at right tackle, that has been a regular starter this season.
Wow. You got to sit for a second and process that, Troy, because anybody that has any knowledge of football know that everything starts in the trenches. You know that everything starts up front, regardless if it's offense or defense. And for you to talk about starting the season and looking at the lineup and saying you only got one that remains as an initial starter from the beginning of the season, then you know that probably also explains a little bit of the trajectory of how you get to be 3-6 also.
Now, one of the things that's really going to be contradictory to what they want to try to accomplish tonight, they want to keep the offensive stars of Mount Pleasant off the field, as they kind of did last week. Used up a lot of clock against East Robertson. That's the game plan that they need tonight. But you're going to have 4 guys up front who have very limited experience. Jackson Wynn started at left tackle last couple of games, performed very well. He is filled in nicely. You're going to have a new starter at the guard position tonight, as we have seen. Durbin out, Orr out. Of course, we talk about Tankersley out at left tackle, Wynn taking his position. We look, Jackson Blakemore, the sophomore, 6'2", 165. He will take over at the left guard position. Center tonight is going to be Drew Glover. Glover took over from Cam Street a couple of games ago. He has performed well. They're going to call on the right guard tonight, Gravy. Luke Allen not available tonight. They're going to start the sophomore Andrew Winsett there, 5'11", 150-pounder at the guard, and then Mikey Stoddard will be your stalwart at the tackle position. Mikey 6'1", 270-pound senior. Tight ends, they're going to go with Carson Yates. Also, they'll be looking at also Reggie Pearson at the tight end position. You're going to have your backs tonight, same backs that you've had the last few games. You're going to be looking at Swift, who has a chance for a 1,000-yard season. He is only 83 yards away from a 1,000-yard season. That'll be the first time since Nick McClendon that's been accomplished back in 2019. You'll have Chris Davis, of course, Liam Bell, who I think has really come on the last 2 or 3 games, has gotten healthier. He was injured, didn't get a lot of work early in the season. He's had to kind of work himself into shape this season. Last couple of games, I think he has really run very effectively.
We're going to do the senior night for the football players.
You know, you've got the freshman Ryan Hill in at quarterback. You'll also see Smeek Patel, some of those other guys, Levi Van Patten, work at the receiver tonight. So a lot of different faces that you're going to see offensively. Ricky?
Yeah, you mentioned Liam Bell. I love watching him work. He's the workhorse. He gets those. You mentioned it every game. He gets those tough yards when it's third and 2, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. He's going to get you those 4 yards.
Gavin Alderson.
I love it when he runs the ball like that.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to need tonight. They're going to need that offensive line, even though they are going to be relatively inexperienced. They're going to need them to block well and give those backs some holes, but it's going to be a big and physical Tiger front that they're going to work against, so it's going to be a challenge.
2 things I heard you say there, Troy. One, you were talking about the younger players. There's a lot of sophomores in that front line that you spoke about. And it's just a case of, as you always like to say, next man up. So this is a case where no one wants to hear any excuse about anybody being hurt. They're going to tell you all day long, it's football, 10th game of the season. Everybody got some people that's hurting in and out, so they want to have that conversation. But here's what I will harp on and have the conversation. If you got somebody like Swift in their senior year campaign, coaching staff going to be real clear, and they're going to be objective is to make sure he gets 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
So he's going to get plenty of touches. So Mr. Sweeney, how many touches did Swift have last week? I just want to get an idea.
Had 20 for 110.
20 touches last week. I could be wrong. You show a young man on his senior year, maybe possibly his last game, you show him a lot of love. 25, 30 touches for Swift tonight, gentlemen.
Yeah, he's going to get his 1,000 tonight. That's going to be one of the things if they see early on that maybe they're looking at the scoreboard, Summertown's losing big to Cascade. If Mount Pleasant gets out on top of us, they're going to look at individual goals and try to get Swift that 1,000.
Yeah, 25, 30 touches, Mr. Sweeney.
Fellas, I'm going to do one thing here. I have just thought of something maybe that we might be able to use to our advantage that's still out in the van. So we're going to take a break. I'm going to come back, and Noble and Ricky take it away for a few minutes, and we'll be back here in just a few moments.
Yes, sir.
He is a member.
You can't have it all. At Brooks Grocery, they've got farm fresh fruits and vegetables, a deli with a selection of freshly prepared favorites, Brooks specialties like Ava's pimento cheese and Adam's chicken salad, freshly made pies, cakes, and desserts. And who could possibly forget the best meat department you'll find anywhere? Great selection, online ordering, and friendly customer service. Brooks Grocery, the place you'll find your next favorite food.
Chapel Hill Family Dentistry has been serving the oral care needs of Chapel Hill and the surrounding area since 2006. They're a general and cosmetic dental practice dedicated to improving your smile and the overall oral health of you and your entire family. Their goal is to provide superior quality health care in a comfortable environment. Call and schedule your appointment today at 364-4557. That's Dr. William Bell and the Chapel Hill Dentistry staff, proud supporters of the Forrest Rockets.
He is a member of the football team.
Mr. Sweeney, I was looking at the stats that Troy was kind enough to put together for us, and as Troy was talking about the formula for success tonight, kind of duplicating what we seen last week. Ball control, managing the clock, and as I was looking at it, 420 rushing attempts for the Rockets and 2,200 yards, so 2,218 yards specifically running the ball this season. So heavy dose of running the ball tonight at 5.3 yards a carry. So I fully anticipate that it probably will look like first half what it looked like second half last week.
Yeah, the Rockets lost last week, 35-21, but Noble Rockets had 60 rushing plays last week versus 23 for East Robertson. Now, also in those 23, they had like long runs. They had an 80-yard run, a 59-yard run, and a 72-yard run. So you're not going to have the ball long if you score on your first play you drive like that. However, when the Rockets do have the ball, they hold it. They hold the ball, they run the clock. So if they can avoid those long runs and stay in the game and not let those guys break loose, those athletes that Mount Pleasant has over here, somebody's got to man up and make some tackles. Don't let him get outside of you and block those up. And the Rockets can compete in this ballgame tonight.
I totally agree with you, Mr. Sweeney, and I'm glad you went ahead and said it. Ain't no need in dancing around it. Tackling has been an issue all year, but last week there was a couple holes that needed to be filled, and that's something that has to be cleaned up this week.
If they don't tackle, you could have those same stats again tonight. We could have it 60 times, they could have it 23 times, but they could have 350 yards. So you got to tackle.
You said it real plain. Goes back to fundamentals. You just got to wrap up and you got to fill the gap. So, I'll probably lean a little bit on also trying my best to ask if we can see a little bit more. Maybe Ryan Hill keeping somewhat mixing off in there. How many passes did Ryan Hill have last week?
Yeah, last week he did well. He had 4 different receivers catch balls. So we've got guys that can catch the ball. Reggie Pearson caught one last week. Reggie, Levi Van Patten, Liam Bell, and Houston Matlock, the number 13, is going to be probably playing defense tonight. That I understand, so we'll have to wait and see. Houston Matlock, very diminutive young man on our team, but great big heart inside that little bitty man.
Yes, indeed, and I totally enjoy Houston being back there on the field in the punts. And maybe we probably can't ask for Ryan Hill to put the ball in the air a lot, particularly with the formula being run the ball and control the clock. But maybe we can try to make that 4 pass attempts, maybe move that up to somewhere around 8 to 10, and have somewhat of a balanced attack so that they don't know that we're just going to line up and run the ball. But, again, I fully anticipate if we can have 60 plays, expect maybe 50 of them to be on the run.
Ryan has certainly been accurate all year. He's 4 of 7 last week, so he does need to throw it more. He could complete 10, 12, 15 passes. But we got such a good running attack, they don't want to get away from that, and I understand that.
Yes, indeed. And according to Troy's stats here, he's 42 of 83, so he got 83 pass attempts on the season and 42 completions at a rate of 51% in the air. So and a total of 651 yards. So and that's excellent numbers considering how that we don't pass very often.
Not much at all, and they are good numbers.
Yes, indeed. 651 yards in the air for you not to pass that often, and 5 touchdowns on the season. So, and also, I like to see every once in a while not only the rollout that he does with the option to be able to throw the ball, but I like the misdirection sometimes when he just keeps the ball on his own, Mr. Sweeney.
Yeah, I think he scored. We got down to the goal line and either got a first down or a score last week, and nobody was expecting him to do that. Had some blockers out there, and I don't know if that was the East Robertson game. Anyway, he did that play you was talking about. Just got everybody going one direction. He just fakes it, puts it on his hip. Nobody out there but him. That's a great play.
Excellent play. And what we're going to do, gentlemen, we got about 35 minutes till we get ready for kickoff here. They're doing a senior appreciation tonight, cheerleaders and the football players. We're going to take another opportunity to thank some of our fine sponsors at this time.
Shay Clammert. Shay has been escorted by Matthew and Amanda Clammert. She has been a member of the football competition cheer squad all 4 years of high school. After graduation, she plans to attend ETSU or UT Knoxville as a network
Eye Care Clinic, Dr. Jeffrey Jordan and his staff offer a wide range of services, including comprehensive eye exams, advanced testing, and eye disease management. Fashion frames from top names like Guess and Kate Spade. They also stay on top of new eye care advances like Vuity and Upneat. And that unique Dr. J touch that always leaves you with a smile until your next visit. Make your appointment at 359-4373. Advanced Eye Care Clinic, 815 East Commerce.
Your one-stop shop to keep your vehicle running smooth is J&J Automotive. From routine maintenance like oil changes to brake repairs, tires and alignment, and exhaust work as well, J&J has got you covered. They work on gas and diesel engines. Call Vince or Matt Jackson at 931-364-5602 or stop by their location at 1791 Highway 99. Keep your vehicle in tip-top shape at J&J Automotive.
For 4 years.
And welcome back as we get set for the regular season finale for both of these squads here tonight. Mount Pleasant already has punched their ticket into the playoffs, has won the region. They will take on the 4th seed out of Region 6 next week.
And Troy, I was talking to Mr. Sweeney and this long presentation they have with all these seniors here. They putting all their eggs in the basket this year with all these seniors they have on their roster.
Her uncle Dylan
You go
Scott
through
and her sister
cycles.
Shelby Holland.
You just hope that each of your classes have parts and pieces that you can work 2 or 3 years. You hate to get those really loaded classes and then fall off. You want to have that good steady flow through.
You do, and I tell you what, you're not always fortunate to do that, so that means you'll get about 2 good years off in there. You got to make the most of them, Mr. Sweeney.
I think the Rockets will water that seed that Coach Tony Johnson has given next year. That 8th grade bunch that he had this year, undefeated. Put a little water on those seeds. We got some good things coming.
Think about those freshmen. They went undefeated as well, so 2 years in a row at the middle school level, they've been undefeated and won their playoff game. So, they've been champs. They're accustomed to that. So there will be some reinforcements on the way.
You gentlemen brought it full circle. So Rockets have that 2 or 3 year window they're looking forward to as well. So you get ready and geared up. Not that we're moving on from this season. We still got a game to play tonight, though.
Well, you think about it. If you end up going 3-7, there will be torches and pitchforks and all kinds of other things. People in Chapel Hill, one thing you know, they're not going to put up with losing very long.
And I tell you what, everything you all just told me with those coming up from Coach Johnson, you won't have to lose very long. So, this will leave a little sour taste in the mouth, as you told me about some of those sophomores who are starting tonight on the line. They'll be able to remember this. If you end up going 3-7, they'll be able. And it's always nice. I'll say this and hope it comes off positive. You tell me they got a nice 8th grade group and they got a nice freshman group. I hate to say it this way, but coming in as an 8th grader up to the 9th grade, coming in as a freshman to the 10th grade, I'm licking my chops. I'm saying, hey, I got an opportunity to get out on that field.
And it might make those juniors and seniors work harder to keep their spot. Therefore, you got a lot of good things going.
Competition always been a good thing, gentlemen.
Most definitely, and that's one of those things, as I said, people around here, kids not going to put up, they don't want to lose. And this season, of course, not what they wanted, but I think it will motivate them to be better next year. Got a chance to catch up with Coach Stevenson today. Let's hear what he had to say about tonight's matchup. And, Coach, tough one coming up tonight. Regular season finale is you've got Mount Pleasant, a team that's really they kind of taken a big step forward this year.
They have. They had a lot of young athletes last year, and they put it together this year. They're athletic on the outside. Quarterback can run and throw. Up front on both sides of the line, they're big and they're physical. And we just got to go out and we got to play fundamental football. And we just got to play 4 quarters, leave it all out there, and just play our style of football.
Coach thought last week, score probably didn't indicate how close the game was. You guys ran up and down the field between the 20s especially offensively, got a lot of yards, ran a lot of plays. You had to be satisfied with that. I guess the only thing probably negative last week is you just wanted to capitalize when you got in the red zone. That
was the biggest thing. We moved the ball very well last week, but when we got down in the red zone, East Robinson did a good job of bowing up and keeping us out. When we get those opportunities, we got to be able to score, and we didn't do that. But our offensive line last week, they did a great job of coming off the ball and getting after them, and our backs did an awesome job of hitting the hole.
Yeah, and possession-wise, I mean, the style that you want to play with the bodies that you have now, with all the injuries that you have up and down that line, you want to be able to play possession football, and you did that last week.
Yes, and that's one thing probably going to go into this week too. We want to be able to ball control and play our ball game, and just get first downs. When we get first downs, we get confidence, and now we got to be able to finish drives.
Couple of great athletes last week in Prince and Groves, and you get that same challenge this week with Mount Pleasant.
Yes, we do. They're more different athletes. They got some burners outside. Their inside run game, they got bruisers, but outside they like to throw them go routes. We've got to be able to stay deep.
Talk about the guys that now have to step up. You don't have the luxury now of working guys in, giving them a play or two there. You got to have them play just because you're thin in the ranks. Talk about the adjustments that they've made and how you've been pleased with them here in these last couple of games.
Been real pleased with them. We got 4 sophomores this week starting up front. Wynn, Blakemore, Glover, and Winsett. Glover and Wynn, they've got 2 or 3 starts on their belt now, and they played well. They play hard. They're smart players, and at least they're in the right place and trying to pick up blocks. Blakemore came in last week. He's a real smart player, and he'll run and hit you. That's what I really love about Blakemore. Winsett, he's the newbie up front, really. He has to step in. He got some big shoes to fill, but it's next man up mentality. When somebody goes down, somebody's got to step up for your teammates.
Coaches, what have the coaches had to do with these guys? What approach have you taken with these guys and not having a lot of experience? How have you tried to coach them up during the week to get them ready for this?
You go through the same way. They just get a lot more reps this week. One good thing is all those kids I just mentioned, they played JV, and they got a lot of valuable reps in JV, and now they get to play some varsity reps, and just seeing. And I know they're excited about it. I'm excited for them. They just got to go out and play now.
And you talk about the JV action. I think it's a really important part of growing your program is that you get guys like you talk about with this. Maybe the stage fright not nearly as bad, the light's not quite as bright if you've already been out there and got a starting assignment in JV action.
One thing for JV for us, it's a great way to get reps and knowing what to do out there. We use it as a teaching experience. We want to go out and win, but it's more of a teaching and learning what to do while you're out there and learning how to play the right way. And that's why JV is so great for us.
Coach, offensively, we talked about needing to have ball control tonight and being able to move the football. Defensively, what do you have to do to stop this potent offense?
They're RPO. They like power. They like buck, but they can throw it off any play. We just got to stay with our fundamentals, and we just got to come off attack and play your gap, do your road, play your job, and if you do that, everything will work to come out.
Coach, has it been a little easier this week to know going into this week that you've got a little bit of a chance still of getting into the playoffs, that guys are just not saying, hey, we got nothing to play for tonight? There's
a chance. The kids, they know that, and I know here at Forrest they're going to go out and they try to win every ball game, and they're going to leave it all out on the line. One thing I challenged them this week though is we want to come out and start out hot. Last week we didn't, but we finished well. We got to be able to stay hot from the first whistle to the last whistle.
Coach, as always, thanks a lot for the time. Best of luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And got to catch up with Coach Stevenson a little earlier today, and those were his thoughts about tonight. And talked about defense. Defense, it's going to look. We talked about how that line is going to look up front offensively. Let's take a look at your starters defensively. In the middle, Mikey Stoddard. Of course, Stoddard got some girth. Big, strong guy, but he is having to move around, play a lot of defense tonight. Drew Glover is going to play one of the tackles. Luke Swihart will play the other tackle. Swihart's got some time late in the season, has performed well defensively. Linebackers tonight, Tayton Swift, Reggie Pearson will be your outside linebackers. It's going to be Yates and Liam Bell inside. Carson Yates, Liam Bell. In the secondary tonight, whole different look back there. Bryce Tankersley and Smeet Patel will be your corners. Safeties tonight will be Ryan Hill and Hunter Matlock getting his first start. He'll be the free safety tonight for the Rockets.
And T-Roy, there's certainly a different look out there that time. And as I'm looking at the lineup on defense that time, there's a lot of young men there getting an opportunity tonight. There's a lot of heart that I've seen in some of those young folks. We will be challenged. There's a nice way of saying it in the secondary, T-Roy.
Well, Coach Bridges, I got a chance to chat with him for just a few minutes this afternoon as well, and he was talking about it. He said, look, we're going to leave nothing in the chamber. He said, we're going to get after these guys. He said, we're going to throw everything we can at them. And he said, we're going to start Hunter Matlock back in the back. He said, the guy knows how to get lined up. I said Hunter Houston Matlock. Back in the back end, he knows how to get lined up, knows what to do. He said, we're going to put him back there, give him an opportunity. So, that being said, he said, we're going to come out tonight. He said, we're going to give everything we got. We're going to show all kinds of looks. He said, we're going to try to get the job done.
And I'll say this, Mr. Sweeney, looking at the secondary there, if Coach is going to do everything he can to make these young men successful in the secondary, he's got to bring a lot of blitzes. He's got to bring a lot of pressure. He's got to force the quarterback, and he's got to force the hand of the Tigers from Mount Pleasant if he's going to give his secondary an opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, the height of Matlock certainly is going to be a challenge for him. They could throw over top of him time and time again, but again, Troy mentioned he's got a good head on him. He knows the game. He knows where to get. He knows where to go. He knows all the plays, and it doesn't take him but one time for you to teach him, and he's learned it. So that's a plus for him.
And that's what Coach Bridges said. He said there's going to be a lot of people that are going to look at this move and wonder why. He said, but, again, Houston knows where to line up. He said that's one of the things that we expect is upperclassmen got to be able to get lined up properly. He said when I put him out there, it don't take me but a time or two, as you said. He picks up on it. He's in the right place. He said, I'm going to go with a guy that's going to get in the right place and be ready to play. So that's your decision tonight. Coach Bridges says, hey, we're going to run with it. We're going to get after some people. We're going to try some different things here tonight. Like I say, he said, we're going to empty the chamber tonight.
At least twice every Friday night, I listen to you gentlemen, and I hear life lessons. And what you two just explained to me is a lesson for every young person to be able to hear out there, okay? I want to be real clear. Number 13 on the stat sheet, it says freshman, 5'2", 100 pounds.
Maybe.
And I hear both of you all telling me all the intangible stuff. Everything y'all telling me. One, he's coachable. Coach said I tell him one time. Mr. Sweeney come in here and know him also. He said you tell him one time. The young man has high football IQ. He go out there. He let the coach be able to relax and say, hey, I don't have to worry about him out there. He's going to be in proper alignment. And what it does is it tells anybody else who's on the football team, if you are coachable, and if you have the heart and the ability to go out there and give your all, and I know you're doing your best, I'm going to put players out there that I can trust.
He's got good hands, and he can make a play. If they underthrow a pass or two out there at him, look for him maybe to pick that thing off.
That's going to be the thing, fellas. He's going to probably get tested early and often. Dual threat quarterback. Nick Brown, number 9 from Mount Pleasant, is very capable of throwing for over 100 and running for over 100. He's done it this season in a couple of games already. So he will definitely test not only the edges with his speed, he'll test the secondary with his arm. He has a really good arm, and again, they're going to come out here. They know that the Rockets are hurting. They know that they are thin, and they're going to come out here and try to pounce early.
And T-Roy, I'm looking at the defensive lineman, and here's the thing. Based upon everything you just described, I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb, Mr. Sweeney, go on record with this. Yates, Swift, Bell, and Reggie
Pearson, yeah.
Yes, indeed. Those 4 gentlemen, it's going to be a competition to see who has the most solos, okay? Now, what that means by definition, each one of those guys got to have anywhere from 10 to 15 solo tackles tonight in order to give that secondary a break.
Yeah, and they're going to get after. That's one of the things Coach Bridges said. When he said empty the gun tonight and shoot all the bullets out, this is what he meant. We're going to get after them. We're going to blitz. We're going to come from all different places, all different angles. It's going to be whatever we can do tonight to get Mount Pleasant's offense out of rhythm. Let's take another break. We'll be back with more pregame here on TC Sports 1.
Don't know what I would do without you to show me the way and the truth. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you. If I didn't have you.
Your local agents, Scott Bond and Troy Cashin. Are you moving to the area and need a place to store your possessions? Are you trying to declutter your existing space or needing a place to park your boat, RV, truck, trailer, or camper? There's a simple solution. It's Highway 99 Storage. Conveniently located off Highway 99 and James King Road, it's a lighted, secure, and fenced-in area to keep your valuables safe. New units available with climate control. Call 364-5678 to rent. That's Highway 99 Storage.
And welcome back, as we want to thank again all of our fine sponsors that help make this broadcast possible tonight. Appreciate you getting out and supporting them. Tell them that you're happy that you've been able to see Rocket Sports here on TC Sports 1. We already said Mount Pleasant locked in. They're going to play here next week. They get the winner of Scotts Hill and East Hickman. They're playing for possibly the 4th slot tonight. Adamsville's 2-2 in their region. Both East Hickman and Scotts Hill are 1-3. So the winner of that one will get into the playoffs, I think, is the 4, and the other will be eliminated from the playoffs. So it looks like the winner of that game will get Mount Pleasant here in Mount Pleasant next week. The 2 seed in Region 5, which is our region, up for grabs tonight as Loretta and Richland playing in Richland. Winner of that game gets the 2 seed, loser gets the 3 seed. And, of course, what happens here depends on what the 4 seed looks like. If the Rockets can win and Summertown can beat Cascade, Rockets finish 4th. Otherwise, Cascade is 4th. They would travel next week to the winner of the Riverside-Lewis County matchup that's taking place tonight. That winner gets the 1 seed in Region 6. The loser gets the 2 seed, Adamsville 3, and the winner of that game between East Hickman and Scotts Hill will get the 4.
You have an excellent memory, sir. All that you just read and all that you just said, I was trying to figure out where you had it written down at, and I was trying to follow all that, my man. You're a special fellow, man.
Yeah.
To be able to articulate all that and be able to put it in order. I know the folks at home, they just like me. Troy, can you say it again so I can get my pen and my paper out?
Okay. The 1 seed here in Region 5 is determined. That's Mount Pleasant. Win or lose tonight, they are the 1 seed. They will play next week here at home in the opening round of the playoffs. They will get the winner of tonight's matchup between Scotts Hill and East Hickman. That will be determining the 4 seed over in Region 6. Our 2 seed in Region 5 is up for grabs tonight as well. Loretto travels tonight to Richland. The winner of that contest gets the 2 seed in Region 5. They would be at home next week taking on the 3 seed, which would be Adamsville from Region 6. The loser of that Richland and Loretto matchup gets the 3 seed in Region 5. They would travel next week to the 2 seed in Region 6, which will be the loser of that Riverside-Lewis County game that's taking place tonight. The 4 seed, Rockets still have a shot. It's a slim shot, but they still have a shot. The Rockets must beat Mount Pleasant here tonight, have Cascade lose to Summertown to get the 4 seed. Other than that, Cascade is the 4 seed in Region 5. They would travel to the winner, who would be the 1 seed in Region 6, that Lewis County and Riverside matchup tonight.
Now I'm a little up to speed. Win tonight, Rockets. Have Cascade lose tonight, and then the Rockets can travel to where?
The winner of Riverside and Lewis County tonight.
There you go. Now I'm caught up.
I think everything usually goes through Riverside. They year in, year out, those guys can play football, know how to play football. They know how to win down there.
I think the one thing, and I'm not going to say this, and I'm trying not to be ugly about this and saying it, but I think a lot of folks, as you say, the road goes through Riverside. The road has gone through Chapel Hill in 2019 and 2021, and I don't think there's very many people in Chapel Hill that will tell you that road shouldn't have traveled to the 4th round of the playoffs. Those are kind of sore spots for the Forest fans as Riverside taking nothing away from them.
Right.
But I feel like the Rockets think they should have won those 2 games and made a couple of semifinal appearances.
Absolutely. And those games, we won't ever forget them. A lot of people that were there, you'll never forget those. Chapel Hill football fans don't forget stuff like that.
And take nothing away from Riverside's effort.
Right.
They came in, they were on the road, came in very prepared. They did what they had to do to win. Of course, Forest fans are thinking, man, just everybody was trying to wish them, wheel them into the playoffs, into the semifinal round for the first time ever, but came up just short against 2 Riverside teams on 4th down who were able to hold in 2019 and 2021. Riverside, again, as you said, Ricky, this year, the road goes through Riverside this year.
Another life lesson you gentlemen just taught. You do not remember all the successes. You do not remember all the wins. You just seem to remember the ones that got away and the losses.
Yeah.
Always remember those.
With that being said, we will take another break. We'll be back with more here on TC Sports 1.
Know that with Apex Banking Online, you can access your accounts, pay bills, and send money to friends and family anytime. Our online banking feature gives you the advantage of secure banking right from anywhere. With our mobile app and online services, banking has never been more convenient. We're here to serve you wherever you go. Visit us in Chapel Hill or call 931-246-7105. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Joseph Fowler and his outstanding staff are dedicated to providing the most effective, clinically superior physical therapy humanly possible. They make it easy to get back in the game by accepting most insurances, including Medicare. They specialize in total joint replacement rehab and orthopedic conditions. They'll help get your range of motion, flexibility, and your strength back. They even assist in dizziness and balance disorders. Get yourself back in the game at Benchmark Physical Therapy, 4654 Nashville Highway.
And we return as we see the officials conferencing in the end zone. Once again, beautiful evening here in Mount Pleasant. And fellas, for the first time in a while, we are elevated. We're up on top of the press box. This is a gorgeous view. I love. The only thing that I would change about Chapel Hill is if we could be on top of the press box at home and be guaranteed that it wasn't going to rain, where we could put our equipment up here and not have to worry about it raining on it. Man, this is a great view up here.
This is that 30,000-foot view. Go ahead, Ms. Sweeney.
This is the best perch we've had all year, several years.
Pretty nice area to observe a game, and we're going to enjoy it here tonight. Like I said, the temperatures will stay in the 60s throughout this contest. Little sweatshirt, little light jacket tonight, and enjoy some football. And we hope that if you weren't able to make the trip, just sit back in your favorite recliner, get your favorite beverage, make the bathroom trip. We're going to be ready for some football here in just a few moments. First of all, let's take another break here on TC Sports 1. We'll be back with you after these commercial messages.
Funeral home and cremation services had its beginning in 1939 when Thomas H. Lawrence established the business. Lawrence Funeral Home has always strived to provide compassionate, dignified, and professional service to every family it serves, regardless of their circumstances. Lawrence Funeral Home pledges to the families of Marshall and surrounding counties to continue providing excellence in funeral service. In your time of need, our family is there for your family. Lawrence Funeral Home and Cremation Service.
Stop in and visit Mack Equipment, your largest Exmark and Cub Cadet dealer in the state of Tennessee. Locally owned and operated in the heart of Chapel Hill at 109 North Horton Parkway, next to Southern Roots Hair Salon. Mack Equipment offers parts, sales, service, and rental. Their factory-certified technicians also service multiple brands of outdoor power equipment, making this a perfect stop for your future equipment repairs. Don't forget to visit our 2 other locations in Murfreesboro and Lewisburg. That's Mack Equipment.
And welcome back as we inch closer to kickoff here in Mount Pleasant. It's the 7-1 Tigers of Mount Pleasant High School taking on the 3-6 Rockets of Forest High. Troy Cashin, Novel Mays, Ricky Sweeney, Mr. Gabe Hall, and Mr. Corey Clark helping out with our computer and our filming here tonight. Missing Mr. Peter Wilson. He's normally on our computer here, but he is in the play tonight at Forest.
Oh, man, I had to hear from Peter and find out how to play one. I'll miss him tonight.
He is multi-talented. We're going to have our invocation and now our national anthem coming up.
Thank you.
Hey, there's my girl. Who's that?
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. Ream Heating Equipment was designed to bring affordable comfort to any home. So no matter your budget, we can help you feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Oh, come on! Yes, let's go!
When it's time for a tune-up or a new HVAC system, contact the trusted pros at Clint's Air Care for expert service and installation.
And we return as we get closer to kickoff here in Mount Pleasant. Rockets taking on the Tigers in the regular season finale here tonight. And fellas, you just last couple of weeks really with all the injuries and all the things that the Rockets had going on, you expected them to suffer a little bit offensively, but have been very pleased with the offensive output in the last couple of weeks. They put 41 on the board against Richland, 14 last week, but really could have been more. They marched up and down the field between the 20s. Ricky, I think the telling stat last week was the number of plays.
60 rushes and 7 passes.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I think that's the most rushing attempts we've had all year long.
And really, I thought performed very, very well.
Yeah.
Just got down there and couldn't convert when they got in the red zone. That was the thing that hampered them last week offensively. But losing those many people up front, tip your hat to Coach Kyle Stacy, offensive line coach. He's moved those guys in, moved them around, and they performed very well.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And, again, we're always talking about the running backs and the running back by committee, but I think what you just described, Troy, and you take what Mr. Sweeney said, most rushing attempts all season at 60, with everything you just described as they was plugging in holes, we have now been able to put to rest how significant linemen are. They're critical. You cannot have any success without the linemen, and you just put that together. You mixed in a few different linemen, and we still had a great deal of success. You need linemen up front on both sides of the ball.
We talked about the coaches and the jobs that they're doing trying to make this patchwork Rocket group work. Coach Eli Stevenson at the helm. He is assisted by defensive coordinator Mr. Ryan Bridges, strength and conditioning and offensive line coach Mr. Kyle Stacy. It will be Jacob Daugherty, Jason Hill, Tony Johnson, Zach Russell, and Chad Harden, along with Mr. Larry Rojo Chapman, your coaching staff for the Rockets. Athletic trainer is Leah Williams, and your support staff, Luke Holton, Colton Blue, Julie Williams, Becca Clark, Bella Hosford, Miranda Stout, Charlie Stoddard, and Elena Santa Cruz for the Rockets tonight. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ledger for Mount Pleasant, they are coached by Kit Hartsfield. His second season has done a great job of turning this program around. He is assisted by Andrew Holcomb, Rob Johnson, Howard Stone. That name may be familiar to a lot of you, longtime Columbia and Spring Hill coach. Ned Rich, Dre Hall, Tredarius Goff, another Columbia native who was a very good running back during his day. John Williams, Linton Hughes, and Scott Tillman, another one of those Columbia Spring Hill connections on the Mount Pleasant Tiger roster here tonight. Senior captains for Mount Pleasant will all head out as they're decked out in the red jerseys tonight with the white numerals and white helmets. Rockets in the blue football pants tonight. They'll have the white jerseys and the white helmets. It'll be Tayton Swift, and I believe that's going to be Tyler Ayers, your captains tonight for the Rockets, as they're on the far side of the field here. And we get set for the teams to make their way onto the field. As we're awaiting the coin toss, let's give one final mention before we go to kickoff to our sponsors as we get set for your kick here in Mount Pleasant.
This broadcast on TC Sports 1 brought to you by Advanced Eye Care Clinic, home of the real Dr. J, Dr. Jeffrey Jordan. By Amigos Mexican Grill, authentic Mexican cuisine. By Apex Bank, a top performer amongst Tennessee community banks. By Benchmark Physical Therapy, where they'll get you back in the game. By Brooks Grocery, where you'll find your next favorite food. Also brought to you by Dr. William Bell at Chapel Hill Family Dentistry. By Clint's Air Care, your local ring dealer. By Farm Bureau Insurance, auto, life, health, and homeowners. By First Commerce Bank, your first choice for hometown banking. We're brought to you by Highway 99 Storage, now with climate control units. By J&J Automotive, your one-stop auto shop. By Lawrence Funeral Home and Cremation Services, serving since 1939. By Lewisburg Animal Hospital, your other family doctor. By Mack Equipment, your local Cub and Exmark dealer. And by the town of Chapel Hill, moving forward with strong tradition.
Marcus Brown, Austin Hicks, Trey Davis, David Davidson, Perez Carter, Evan Alderson, Uriah Archibald, Matthew Holden, Jacob Buchanan, Jeffrey Williamson, and Jackson Collins.
Captains heading out to midfield as we get set for the coin toss. For Mount Pleasant, 15, Perez Carter, 27, Xavier Davidson, number 7, Uriah Archibald, and number 64, who is Gavin Alderson. Swift and Ayers, as we said earlier, for the Rockets. As we get set for a little football action here, the regular season finale. Officials going over their instructions for both teams. As Noble, pretty interesting, Mount Pleasant walked in front of their fans in the stands. A little interesting, little different ritual there for them.
But there's a lot of things that's different here, my man. They got advertisement, promotion, and this is big time right here, my man. You would think they're getting ready to build a whole new stadium with everything going on, but everything is different. Even with the senior lineup from left to right on your dial, they had from 30-yard line to the 15-yard line seniors.
And the Rockets have won the toss, and they are going to elect to receive. All-time series, Mount Pleasant leading the all-time series 21-15, and there being one tie. Back in 1970, they tied 22-22. Rockets won last year by a score of 25-7, but the 4 previous meetings were won by the Mount Pleasant Tigers, and those include a couple of first-round playoff matches in 2006 and 2012. Mount Pleasant used to be the scourge of single-A football for a while, Noble. They were tremendous, and as the fireworks go off here, they're back to where they want to be, back on top.
Somebody forgot to inform Mr. Sweeney they were shooting fireworks out here. He had a flashback for a second right there, my man. And here's the thing, T-Roy. As you think about it, the Rockets won the coin toss, took the ball. The past 2 weeks, we've had the discussion of them being able to start and stay motivated and get a good start to the football contest. One time they had a good start, one other time they didn't have a good start. So it's real critical they take this drive and put their stamp on this game early, T-Roy.
As you see, the Mount Pleasant folks are very excited. You see and hear the fireworks as senior night starting with a bang for them. Let's just hope that's as big a bang as they get tonight.
I like it, T-Roy. I like that. Big Bang Theory. How about that? I tell you what, I got a Big Bang Theory. Take the ball, get a good return on the
bang
kickoff.
It down the field
yes, indeed.
And
there you go. Bang, bang, bang. On the door, baby.
Once again, it's going to be an inexperienced front line tonight. It'll be Wynn, Blakemore, Glover, Winsett, and Stoddard up front. 4 of those 5 starters were not starters in game 1.
I think you have elaborated on that all night, and you have basically put a stamp on it, T-Roy. And here's what everybody's saying at home. At the end of the day, these are the ones that's out on the field. These are the ones we're playing with. Let's get the job done.
Jackson Collier for Mount Pleasant getting set to put it in the air. Tayton Swift, the middle of a triumvirate as he is at the goal line.
And Troy, I hope that the folks at home are enjoying our TC Sports 1 mixtape. How about that, my man?
Telling you, man.
We got us a mixtape up here.
I think everyone has waited a long time for this one. It seems like this one's taken forever to get underway. We're ready for some football action.
Yes, indeed. And we got our pregame music playing, T-Roy. We might mess around and have us a good performance here tonight on this broadcast because they got Mr. Ricky Sweeney. He done come out of his sweatshirt. He's over here. He's trying to do the Dougie and a whole bunch of other stuff. His hips are moving. His elbows are shaking. And he's doing a little shiver with his shoulders.
We're in regular season form here at the end.
We are. We are certainly in that form.
Slow finisher.
Jackson finally gets the signal. He approaches, and we are underway here in Mount Pleasant. High kickoff, taking it about the 5, center of the field 10, looking for the wedge 15-20. Liam Bell with it, and he will reach out to about the 25-yard line where he is taken down there by number 21, who is Darian Meza.
T-Roy, I had more hopes for that. I mean, there was a wedge there, and I just thought we would have a little bit more success with that. And with the amount of jerseys that I seen for Mount Pleasant Tigers, I thought we had enough white jerseys to be able to create a scene that time.
This offense has been potent, averaging 5.3 yards per carry and almost 250 yards a game on the ground. They go to the ground to begin with, and right up the middle, there are a lot of red shirts stuffing that play.
Tackled by a host of Tigers.
T-Roy, that fella Connor right there, number 69.
6'1", and they don't list his weight, but he is a big fella.
I think they would offend the fella if they put his weight down there, but just know this. He's 6'1", and he is a big fella, and I tell you what, you're going to have to block him because he's right over top of the ball.
Yeah,
and
he's a good 3 bills.
If you plan on having any success running right, you're going to need to block him.
Rolling right. Hill looking to throw. Fires it. Passes incomplete as he had a man at the 35 in and out of the hands of Reggie Pearson. And it'll bring up third down.
T-Roy, I'm excited at the play I seen. I was talking to Mr. Sweeney early. I was trying to figure out how we can get Ryan Hill mixed into the game, have more than 4 to 5 opportunities. I was hoping to get about 8 to 10 pass attempts, try to mix that in, keep the Tigers honest. I like the fact that coach's staff came out early with him in there.
William Bell will be the back behind Hill on 3rd and 9. They're going to keep everybody in close, try to give Hill a little extra protection as he rolls right. Looking to throw down the field. Man, back there is caught at the 40 to the 35. Stumbling and falling forward is Chris Davis, and a beautiful pass and a spectacular grab by Chris Davis.
T-Roy, Kevin Cooper, number 22 for the Tigers, in single coverage back that time. And Chris Davis, T-Roy, he ran a beautiful route. And I tell you what, he'll put the ball in the air, but I'm going to give my credit to number 57. He held his block for a long time, the sophomore Blake Moore, T-Roy, 6'2", 165-pound sophomore.
In his first start, a 45-yard gain and a first down, and back to the ground with Davis. And that time, penetration coming as number 1, Jaden McClure, blowing that one up. Loss on the play of about 3. It'll bring up 2nd and 13.
T-Roy, one more time, Coach Eli Stevenson going to the air. There's only been 4 plays unless I'm missing something. 2 of them run, 2 of them in the air, my man. If there's going to be any success, you cannot be one-dimensional. I know we talked about the formula, but you still got to give Ryan Hill not only pass protection coverage, but you got to give your running backs and your linemen an opportunity where everybody just ain't teeing off on them.
Hill, 650 yards coming into tonight's contest, 45 on his first completion tonight. 2nd down and 13 as they go back to the ground, coming right. Davis looking for running room, and Mount Pleasant able to string him out and take him down as he finally made the cutback. But Noble, that was a little slow developing. When we talk about Davis, we want him headed north and south.
And not only do we want him running headed north and south, he's very effective that way, T-Roy. His power, his strength, he does an excellent job. You can count on him to get 3 or 4 additional yards if he can get north and south. You don't want to stretch this thing east and west on him. And unfortunately, T-Roy, we're forced into a mandatory passing situation.
Davis coming into tonight, 59 carries, 395 yards, averaging 6.7 yards per carry and 3 touches. 3rd down and 13 as they shift right, and we've got a penalty marker before this one gets underway. And that's one of the things, Noble, that you don't want to see is putting yourself in a much more difficult down and distance, as if 3rd and 13 wasn't hard enough. Tack on 5 more after the false start.
Yes, you certainly got to pass now. I've been watching number 69, Connor, that we talked about. He doesn't line up at the same place all the time, T-Roy, so they've been mixing him up. So it's not going to be predictable. He's not going to be able to come in and just tell you which side he lines up. Look at how they do the formation, T-Roy. I want the folks at home to look. Look how they stacked on defense before they actually go line up.
And you also see 64. He is no shrinking violet as well. 2 big guys up front. As once again, we got a little confusion. And a timeout will be taken by Forrest. It'll be their first timeout. We'll take a break as well. No score here early from Mount Pleasant.
Hometown banking. It's having your decisions made by a bank right here in your town, not in another city, county, or even state. It's neighbors and friends who know your name and take the time to greet you when you walk in. It's modern technology such as online banking and mobile check deposits while still being able to talk to a living, breathing human. Come visit us at 4641 Nashville Highway or call us at 364-7888. First Commerce Bank, your first choice for hometown banking, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Moving forward with strong tradition. It's the town's motto, but it holds so true today. The town of Chapel Hill is balancing expanded growth with preserving the small town traditions that make it special. The town's administration and employees would like to take this time to reaffirm their commitment to the citizens of Chapel Hill and to wish the Rockets and Lady Rockets success in their upcoming seasons. From the home of the Lions Super Bowl of the South The town of Chapel Hill says go Rockets.
Flag on the play.
Another penalty marker on the
Legal
Rockets.
substitution called
Boy,
against the Rockets.
a legal substitution on the Rockets. That'll back them up 5 more. And Noble,
Brings up 5 more.
the 45-yard pass play to Davis got them to the 30. Now they are at the 43. 3rd down and 23 now for the Rockets.
T-Roy, we got to put the ball in the air or try to get us a pass interference or something.
Pitch coming right. Swift with it at the 40, and he is taken out of bounds at about the 38-yard line, and the Swift watch is on, fellas. Swift came into tonight, 135 carries, 917 yards, averaging 6.8 yards per carry with 5 scores. He needed 83 more yards for 1,000. That's 5 yards closer there. 4th down now for the Rockets, and really right now, nothing to lose. Go for it.
Absolutely nothing to lose. And I'll tell you what, we're not going to just land right on 83. We're not going to leave it up to chance. Going to get the young man Swift well over 83. That way when you go back, you're not looking at it unofficially. He come up with 999 or something of that nature. Let's get him a solid 100 for the night.
4th and 18 here. Hill to throw. Got plenty of pressure. Davidson all over him. Slings Hill down back at the 48 of Forrest, and he came just pouring through. Alderson, no chance for Hill.
No, indeed. Big boy rubbing his stomach, T-Roy. He was hungry, and seemed like he got kind of full that time, T-Roy.
Yeah. I tell you what, he came through, and Hill really had no chance. Noble tried to get away, but Alderson had too much coming right at him.
It was a whole lot coming at him, T-Roy. A whole lot.
Now, Mount Pleasant takes over on the Forest side of the field now for the first time tonight. They are at the Forest 49-yard line. 8:04 left here in your first quarter.
T-Roy, it's going to be huge on defense. They're at a disadvantage. Tigers for Mount Pleasant are in positive field position. They're on the other side of the 50. Got excellent field position. Can't get anything better than that. And here's the thing.
Uniform difficulties there, I believe, for 77, and they get him out of the game. First down. Brown on the give, coming right to the 45. Gets to the corner 40 with a good block. 35 and hit down there, but Mesa well set up, and you see the dynamic speed and athletic ability when he gets to the corner. He had a little crease, broke that, and he had about 15 more after that.
T-Roy, you awful kind, being real pleasant with your conversation. We had a missed tackle that time. If we could have tackled him, it'd have been a 2-yard loss in the backfield.
Instead, it's a first down at the Rocket 34. And once again, you see Mount Pleasant going to try to spread this defense out. Brown operating with 3 receivers to the left, 1 short side right. He'll pitch again in the open field. That time, good job by Swift coming up. He got the first hit, and then he got plenty of help coming there as Xavier Davidson on the carry. But that time, the Rockets did a good job as, again, they want to get their athletes in space.
They do, T-Roy, and I want to be real clear. That's a tackle for Swift. And I tell you what, T-Roy, I'm going to do some extra duty tonight like Mr. Ricky Sweeney. I'm going to ask you to tear me off a piece of your paper. I'm going to mark down how many tackles these linebackers make tonight. And that's 1 for Swift. I'm going to just tell the folks at halftime how many tackles these linebackers have. Don't work too hard, because tackles are going to be the only reason why we end up in this game. And I want the folks at home to know if we end up in this game, why we end up in the game. That's 1 tackle for Swift on defense.
Brown once again will operate from the gun on 2nd and 11. This time 2 receivers to the right as he's straight back to throw. Steps up in the pocket. He's got some time. Now scrambles and tucks at the 35. Stays on his feet 30. Gets outside, and he is taken down just shy of the sticks as he will reach the 26-yard line. And Noble, good stop over on the far sideline to keep him from picking up the first down.
Yes, indeed, T-Roy. Here's the thing, though. Here's my problem with that. That tackle that time was Ryan Hill, and you know what position Ryan Hill plays.
Safety.
You don't want your safety making that tackle to save everything, T-Roy.
So 3rd down and a couple now for Mount Pleasant. 6:40 clock moving here, opening quarter, as Mount Pleasant has the football for the first time. Mesa will be your receiver wide to the left. Receiver in the slot that way. Rockets showing blitz, and maybe they forced Mount Pleasant into a little jump. Let's see. Yep. Legal procedure on Mount Pleasant. You could see, I believe it was Swift, came up right at the line of scrimmage, and you could tell they were trying to adjust, seeing that he was going to come on the blitz, and it forced them to flinch. 5-yard penalty.
How huge would this be? Give them the ball on the 49-yard going in, and you stop them turnover on downs, T-Roy.
3rd down and 7 here. Once again, 2 receivers to the left side of the field. This one, they'll work the pistol formation here as they swing it out left side. Pass caught, eluding the first tackle. 35-30, cuts it back inside of the 20, stays on his feet 15 and down to the 12 before finally be taken down. That's number 22, Kevon Cooper. And again, Noble, a couple of missed tackles led him to get the first down.
Yes, indeed, T-Roy. That's a lot of pressure put on that young man there. He coming up full speed, out in space, having to bring him down, didn't stop and wrap up on him, T-Roy. Break down.
They'll work quick from the 12. Snap back, give up the middle. Working his way down to the 10, maybe the 9. That's going to be 24, Micah Hidson. And they'll bring up 2nd down now. And Noble, good job up front that time of plugging the hole. Not a whole lot there. Gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Yes, indeed. Swift got a half a tackle that time. T-Roy had a little help from Patel, and also he had a couple other players off in there as well. I think I also seen number 64, Glover, Drew Glover in there also.
Brown back behind him. Man in motion left to right as they fake the give, swing it out in the flat. Pass caught, and a good job that time as the back who made the catch wanted to turn it back inside, but it was Bryce Tankersley over there, and as he tried to plant his feet, fell to the turf.
You're doing an excellent job play-by-play, Troy. Bryce Tankersley, he fought off of his block out there on the corner, T-Roy, and came in, and the running back, you can say he slipped or tried to make a cutback, but Bryce Tankersley, excellent job of fighting off your block and getting back there, T-Roy.
From the 7, it's 3rd down now, 3rd and 5. Play clock at 15 as Mount Pleasant was up there quickly. Now they'll shift over. Rockets defense trying to shift as well. They go to the ground with the power that way. Rockets string it out. Good move at the 10, and the back will get down to the 1. Noble, that should have been a couple of yards lost on the play, but that was just an outstanding juke by the running back, Jakari McClure.
We missed 2 tackles again, and I don't have a problem with the individual effort. I certainly don't have a problem highlighting a young man with special set of skills, but he's got to be tackled, man. He has to be tackled, T-Roy.
Jakari McClure picks up the 1st down at the 1. 1st and goal for the Tigers. Just under 4 minutes left here, opening quarter. Brown give. They will slam it forward, and on a 2nd effort, touchdown on the play for the Tigers. It will be the Tigers striking first. Austin Hicks from 1 yard away. Mount Pleasant on the board 6-0 with the point after try upcoming off the toe of Jackson Collier.
I would have liked to have seen us give ourselves a chance, Troy. Just make a couple tackles and force the Tigers to do something on 4th down. I just would have liked to seen us give ourselves a chance.
I think this has just kind of been a microcosm of the whole season. Just what could have been near miss. You know, you had them stopped, but missed a couple of tackles. That's kind of been the MO this season. Once again, Tigers able to cash in after the missed opportunity by the Rockets. 7-0 Mount Pleasant as we go to break.
Amigos Mexican Grill is the place you'll find all your authentic favorites, from burritos to enchiladas to sizzling fajitas, all served fast and fresh. Dine in, order online, or call in your order at 364-2222. Also, Amigos has catering services available for your next big occasion as well. Good food, good times at Amigos Mexican Grill, 216 South Horton Parkway. Visit their other locations in Lewisburg and Spring Hill. Amigos, proud supporters of the Rockets.
Lewisburg Animal Hospital serves the veterinary needs of Marshall County. They've grown to a 4-doctor practice specializing in small animal medicine. They offer advanced medicine, surgery, and nursing care in a personal and relaxed environment with the utmost compassion for their patients. For your pet's grooming and boarding needs, Maggie Rue Pet Retreat and Grooming Salon is located adjacent to the hospital. Call 931-359-5945 to schedule an appointment for your pet.
Enter Sandman playing as the Mount Pleasant Tigers trying to put the Rockets to sleep early. It's 7-0 as the Tigers drive it 49 yards for the first score of the game. Short kickoff. It's going to hit at the 20. Bounce free. It's a free football picked up back at the 7 and tackled there. And we saw exactly that same thing happen with the Rockets being the beneficiary a couple of weeks ago. But here it's Mount Pleasant able to pin the Rockets deep.
Troy, you've heard it said several different ways. Football, complementary. You got to have offense, you got to have defense, and you got to have special teams. Defense needs some improvement in tackling, and there's been 2 times we've been kicked to, and we have not been very effective in the kick return game, Troy.
Eli Bell in the contest. He's going to line up wide right here out of this set as they go back to the ground right up the middle, and that front of the Mount Pleasant defense, it's tough right now. Very hard sledding up front for some inexperienced linemen against some large and agile defensive linemen for the Tigers.
Plenty of help back there for the Tigers, but that young man's name is Connor Scarra, and you heard him in the background. The PA announcer, he put a little extra emphasis on his name.
Noble looking at the scoreboard, still nothing from that Cascade Summertown game, but it makes no difference if you don't win here.
You got to take care of your business.
Give off the left side. Swift knifing forward, stays on his feet. Good hard running by Swift, and I think he'll be very close to his first down.
I think he has it, T-Roy. It's all going to depend on where he put this left foot at, but he looked like he's moving the chains.
16 here early for Swift. That puts him within 67 yards of the 1,000-yard mark right now.
Look how well you do the math, T-Roy. I was just pulling out my pen, getting ready to write an 83 at the top, and then getting ready to put 16 under with a little dash out to the side. It was going to take me a little while to figure out which one of those numbers to cross out.
1st and 10, still deep in their own territory at the 17. Looking for a little room here as they give it to Swift. Back to the ground across the 20. Pickup of close to 4 there on first down. Maybe give him 5. Yeah, they stretch it on out. He actually got to the 23, so gain of 5. 2nd down and 5 now for the Rockets.
Had his head up, great vision that time, T-Roy. And when the coach calls that play in, he's asking you to hit the hole, and Swift did a great job of just going straight through the hole.
Hill under center. Backs are split as they go back to the ground. Now here the inside scissor, breaking free. Good hard running across the 30 on the quick hitter. And that's Chris Davis. That's what he does so well, Noble. When he gets turned north and south, he may not be the largest guy in the backfield, but he is a really hard and physical runner.
I'm going to take my hat off, T-Roy. You done highlighted the running back, hard and physical run. Jackson Wynn, number 78, providing the key block. And I also think I seen Carson Yates downfield, 10 yards blocking, number 24.
Another first down for the Rockets, and back to the ground with Liam Bell, looking to get outside. Bell to the corner, trying to elude a defender. We're going to have a penalty marker over there on the sideline. Maybe, Noble, you think where it was at, possibly face mask?
Here's the problem. Is it on
I was just about to
defense?
say, yeah, was it on us or them?
Because we had our arm extended as well, so it's going to be 15 yards on someone.
For the Rockets, they just hope it's not them, but I think it looks like it's going to come back.
The official looked like he's lining up going the wrong direction, in my opinion, for us.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant's already starting to lean that way, so let's see what we get here. Of course, Bell battling, trying to get to the corner there.
Tigers did a great job of extending it, making him go east and west, T-Roy.
Personal foul, face mask on the Rockets. Boy, Noble, you just have such a slim margin for error tonight. Not to take anything away from the effort by Bell, but it's a tough break for the Rockets as now you put 15 yards more that you have to get against this tough Tiger defense.
Slim margin to start with. And then when you look up at the score and it's 7-0, almost the end of the first quarter, the margin gets slimmer. And here we are, T-Roy. You add 15 on to that, and we got a hard battle. And we got to get back to the running game, but I need to see the ball in the air.
Give off this left side, cutting it back inside. Swift trying to get outside again. That time, Noble, Swift did a nice job, got what he could, but did you see the Mount Pleasant defender get the outside edge? He set the edge and made him cut it back.
Troy, I'm glad you said that. The significant difference in when I see the Rockets on defense and I see the opposing team, we always make a nice cut or a nice move, but when the opposing team make one cut, there's no one there to secure us or to save us from a lot of trouble. Every time, like the Tigers tonight, we can make us a knife move, Swift did, but then there's always some red jerseys or somebody coming up to clean it up.
Gain of about 4. 2nd and 22 is Hill to throw. Fires it sideline pass incomplete as he got some heat. Intending it for Levi Van Patten. They'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, he was flushed to the right that time. A good rollout as always, but not a lot of room that time. T-Roy, ball thrown out of bounds that time. And
brings up 3rd down and long.
And Noble, he didn't get time that time to really square his shoulders to throw. He was still rolling with a lot of heat.
He was. T-Roy wasn't going to be very accurate. Couldn't put a lot on that time. And I guess the case is, do you run some conservative right here?
3rd down. 22. Inside scissor. Middle of the field, across the 30. Davis spinning, stays on his feet to the 40, to the 45, picks up his 1st down as he is ushered out of bounds finally at the 48-yard line. And that is the Chris Davis that we are accustomed to seeing. When he gets turned upfield, Noble, he's really special in that middle of the field area. Got some good blocks up the field, but he made a nice cut at about the 40 to get his 1st down.
I'll tell you what, T-Roy, before he made that cut, I'm watching the young man that he ran over. That's the free safety, number 32. Keep an eye on Chandler Hughes. He looked like he may be concussed, T-Roy. He got ran over.
1st down is Hill, fakes now to throw. Eludes Alderson, but then he gets sacked. He did a great job of getting 64 airborne, but there were reinforcements there after he got him airborne. That's number 1, Jaden McClure.
That's the problem, T-Roy. Once he was able to elude Alderson, he had someone else in his face, and that's what I'm talking about. Too many red jerseys.
Timeout, Tigers. We'll be back.
Mount Pleasant High would like to thank Lee Ray and
You can't have it all. At Brooks Grocery, they've got farm fresh fruits and vegetables, a deli with a selection of freshly prepared favorites, Brooks specialties like Ava's pimento cheese and Adam's chicken salad, freshly made pies, cakes, and desserts. And who could possibly forget the best meat department you'll find anywhere? Great selection, online ordering, and friendly customer service. Brooks Grocery, the place you'll find your next favorite food.
Chapel Hill Family Dentistry has been serving the oral care needs of Chapel Hill and the surrounding area since 2006. They're a general and cosmetic dental practice dedicated to improving your smile and the overall oral health of you and your entire family. Their goal is to provide superior quality health care in a comfortable environment. Call and schedule your appointment today at 364-4557. That's Dr. William Bell and the Chapel Hill Dentistry staff, proud supporters of the Forest Rockets.
Tackle by Holden and Chandler Hughes.
String Davis out on the play. Short gain, and that will be the end of the 1st quarter. First 12 minutes in the books. Mount Pleasant leads it 7-0. We're going to keep it here.
Bridges Award is named after A.F. Bridges.
Yes, indeed, T-Roy. That time there, the Rockets, they sealed off the edge that time, had a couple key blocks that allowed the running back to be able to get to the edge that time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it may have been Chris Davis running the ball that time.
Yeah, it was.
Chris Davis running the ball, had a couple key blocks. And T-Roy, right now I don't want to get too excited, but I did see us kind of coming up a little gimpy that time. Looked like we might have been favoring a shoulder or something of that nature. So don't want to necessarily call any names because they've been showing me toughness and tenacity all year, and I think they probably just going to play through it. But we have a Rocket there that I'm going to want to keep an eye on. I hope he can get through the game.
I tell you, Noble, it's been a challenge keeping these guys healthy this year. We have not seen the injury problems for the Rockets in past years that we have seen this season. It has just been a house of horrors trying to keep people healthy this year.
Yes, indeed. They've had a hard time, T-Roy, and I was looking to see if the Rocket I was concerned about would stay on the field, and he exited the field. So I hope to be able to see him come back before this second quarter is over.
It'll be 3rd down. Long again. 14 is Hill with an empty backfield. Sets to fire. Back across the field. Pass incomplete. And, boy, they had that one set up well. They let Mount Pleasant that time apply the pressure. Tried to set up the screen. It was intended for Yates. And, boy, had he been able to make that catch, he had a lot of blockers in front of him.
78, 64, and 57, T-Roy. When you see a lot of blockers, all three of them was out there just waiting on him to secure the ball. And I tell you what, I only seen one red jersey, T-Roy. I only seen one red jersey. And I like the odds of three big boys taking out one jersey and maybe one or more of them going downfield to get the free safety.
That's one way to slow your pass rush down.
T-Roy, that could have been a home run, sir. We could have been looking at a 7-7 game.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's been the story of this season.
But here's the thing. If it wouldn't have went to the house, it was certainly guaranteed to be a first down.
Yes, most definitely. High snap. Cohen Grissom goes up and gets it. Punt out of there. End over ender that will hit, roll, and be down by the Rockets back at around the 20-yard line. So the Tigers will have a long distance to go here. Long drive upcoming for them as they get the football. Nova, can you believe this? Only the second time tonight for them.
And, Troy, that means that the formula for the Rockets is working, the running game. We just got to play defense, my man. And here's the problem. You're a better math student than I am. You got to make sure all the variables work if the formula is going to come out right, my man.
Yeah, most definitely. And the thing of it is, Noble, the big plays, when you're struggling, you can't have those big plays go against you, and that's what's happened to them time after time this year. Those plays that you need to make, they've been unable to do so. Gibb back inside, shedding a couple of tacklers again, getting free, now into the clear. 30, 35, 40. It's a foot race down the sideline. 45, 40, 35, 30. There are nothing but red shirts remaining. And it is an 81-yard touchdown run. Jeremiah Roan and Noble.
72 yards.
How many defenders do you have on defense?
You're supposed to have 11.
That's how many brat tackles he broke.
Wow. Troy, here's the thing, man. Prior to that one play from scrimmage right there, we just talked about the formula. We just talked about running the ball, managing the clock, and we talked about the ability to have all variables work. The man came up, had a 3-yard run, and didn't get tackled out of 3 yards. And after that, he just took it to the house.
I mean, no doubt, Noble, he broke at least 5 or 6 tackles. Give him credit, but, again, you got to make that stop. And that's been the story of this season. As the Tigers tack on the extra point, they now lead it by a score of 14-0.
Rockets 0.
Eye Care Clinic, Dr. Jeffrey Jordan and his staff offer a wide range of services, including comprehensive eye exams, advanced testing, and eye disease management. Fashion frames from top names like Guess and Kate Spade. They also stay on top of new eye care advances like Vuity and Upney. And that unique Dr. J touch that always leaves you with a smile until your next visit. Make your appointment at 359-4373. Advanced Eye Care Clinic, 815 East Commerce.
Your one-stop shop to keep your vehicle running smooth is J&J Automotive. From routine maintenance like oil changes to brake repairs, tires and alignment, and exhaust work as well, J&J has got you covered. They work on gas and diesel engines. Call Vince or Matt Jackson at 931-364-5602 or stop by their location at 1791 Highway 99. Keep your vehicle in tip-top shape at J&J Automotive.
Mount Pleasant leads it by a score of 14-0. 81-yard touchdown scamper by Jeremiah Roan. And now the Tigers ready to kick it off once more. Once again, that little short pooch kick taken by one of the up men at the 30, 35, center of the field, 40 out to about the 42-yard line. And good starting field position once again for the Rockets. As Brandon Haynes, the freshman, on the return. Good return straight up the field and good starting field position. And Noble, go ahead. You've been monitoring the situation pretty closely, and I think not good news.
I don't think it's good news, T-Roy. And since I got your permission, I'll go ahead and say it. Tatum Swift was the young man I was worried about. Final play of the first quarter, it looked like a little shoulder there, and as now confirmation, he has taken off his shoulder pads.
And that means probably he's not going to be back, and that will mean his quest for 1,000 is is going to be put on hold. And, boy, I tell you what, that's tough when you feel like you put yourself in a position. You're only 83 yards away from the century mark, and he's averaged over 100 yards a game and won't get a chance to reach that mark. And, Noble, that's going to be one of the things right now that you're going to be tuning into to see if he can get it. And, of course, now standing over on that sideline.
And I'll tell you what, T-Roy, I have been monitoring it. I talked to the little fella on Monday, the big fella, he's bigger than I am, on Monday at the school. I'll talk about that in a little while. Got a lot of love from the students, but that young man there, he's getting some attention from the staff over there. I don't think it's far-fetched. I think we'll see him second half. He's going to give you an effort.
I hope he's going to get that 1,000-yard mark as they go back to the ground again, center of the field, and tough sledding. That Mount Pleasant defensive front has been really good.
Brings up third down.
Noble, who was that on the carry? I didn't see that.
Liam Bale.
Bale, okay.
And Troy, going back one more time before we move away from Swift, he's getting attention over there. And if you don't see him again, that means he cannot go.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, he's getting so much attention that I think the only person that can keep him out would have to be the coaching staff, would have to keep him out. He's determined to come back in this game.
3rd down and 6 now. Can the Rockets get a first down here? Keep the drive alive. They go scissor handoff, and that time Mount Pleasant waiting. Davis got it, and he had no place to go. Loss of about 3, so it'll bring up 4th down. And Noble, once again, Mount Pleasant had that one diagnosed very well, and we got another injured Rocket, and again, that's been the story of the season. I believe that's Davis.
Referee injury.
And he has been a warrior because he has battled numerous injuries, as have a lot of these guys, and he'll pick up his helmet and get off the field, but it'll bring up another 4th down.
Number 64, one more time, T-Roy. Number 64, that young man.
That's
there,
Alderson.
Alderson, he I tell you what, he's got more tackles than anybody on both teams combined, and he stays in the backfield.
Hey, he is a very active young man. He's got some size, Noble, and he's one of those guys you're looking at. If you're a small college around these parts, he's a guy who will fit very well in a lot of systems.
Hey, I tell you what, 6'3".
Punt over the top of the Mount Pleasant return man, but he goes back and gets it. Now he is on the move. Mesa breaks it outside, and there's the tackle by guess who?
G squared.
Gavin Grissom says, "You will not take it to the house on my watch."
My man.
Is that a little Pat McAfee action there?
And you see the excitement. He didn't shy away from it. And here's the thing, T-Roy. Somebody going to get offended, and I don't mean to be offensive. He actually slowed down, broke down a little bit, and he allowed the returner to make his move rather than him making the move. It looked like nice form tackling. I like it, Gavin.
Hey, and the other thing was penalty on the play. Not only do they not get that great starting field position, they're going to be backed up, and, of course, now, again, if you're the Rockets, you got to take advantage of this. Still a 14-0 game, 9:22 left here, second quarter. You want to make your move now. You cannot afford. I think if they get that 3rd score, it's going to be a really, really difficult task. You got to make a stop here.
Fundamentals, T-Roy. Fundamentals, and I got to be real clear with you. And I know anybody at home, they probably just as frustrated to hear me say what I'm about to say because they don't want to hear it. It's game 10, T-Roy.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to be talking about tackling.
Yeah. Just so many things that have not been customary, what we're accustomed to seeing for the Rockets.
No, that's effort, T-Roy. That's effort. That's effort. You know they put the time in. You know the time is spent with the young men. You know they know how to tackle because they were doing an excellent job of it last year.
Yeah, and that's the puzzling thing, I think, is – and true, they lost a lot of key pieces off of last year's puzzle, but you had a lot of guys that had experience. They were going to be stepping in with experience, expected to perform well, and there just hasn't been that carryover from last year to this year.
Troy, can I say it a little more simple? They've been tackling since middle school when Mr. Sweeney was talking. They've been tackling for a long time, Troy. You don't forget how to tackle.
Yeah.
That's effort, Troy. That's effort. You got to get in position and break down and tackle.
And I'm going to be honest with you, the 81-yard run just a few moments ago, that has been the story of this season. If you put the Forest season up in one play, that's kind of been it. Being in position but not being able to convert, make a tackle. And as you said, that's what wins you ball games and loses you ball games.
Well said.
Mount Pleasant, after that penalty, they're going to be starting deep in their own end. back at the 6. Now, we haven't seen Brown do a lot, Noble, but early on he hasn't had to.
He has not had to, Troy. And, again, how much can he do? This is only their third time holding the ball, right?
Yes.
So there has not been many opportunities for him to do anything. And here's the sad part. It's 14-0. Perhaps he hadn't had to do a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's got a great set of teammates out here. They've got balance, as you see, dynamite players with explosiveness up and down this roster on both sides of the football.
Yes, indeed. And what you just said to me was you're expecting Brown to do something. That's not going to be pleasant either.
Exactly. Man in motion now. Right to left as they go back to the ground, and there's what you want to see.
Effort.
Cohen Grissom comes flooding in, and that was a great tackle.
See Jeezy. I see you see Jeezy. There he is, T-Roy, 6'1".
Did they get the safety out of that?
Come on. Nowhere in the world his forward I couldn't see from there, so
I was waiting. It's about maybe the one, possibly the two. I thought he might have gotten him close enough. That's where you're just hoping that you get something to turn the game around.
Well, you were hoping, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited at the fact that he showed up, wrapped up, and took him to the ground. 6'1", 175-pound freshman, C. Jeezy.
Second down, 14 now for the Tigers, and we've got another penalty on Mount Pleasant here, but Noble doesn't really hurt you a lot here at the 2, cost you a yard.
Yeah, they can get penalized 3 or 4 more times. That won't result in very much at all, Troy.
Hey, very nicely done, as you said. That's an exciting play by a young fella. Getting out on the corner, that's an athlete in space made to stop individually.
That's effort, T-Roy.
To throw from the end zone. Rolling, looking, flips it out in the flat pass, incomplete. And Noble, that's one of those Lamar Jackson tosses right there. He was looking at the receiver in the flat here at about the 10, and all of a sudden he just flicks that thing over the back there. Skylar Witherspoon had a chance at it, but that was a pretty nicely thrown ball by Brown.
It had to be nicely thrown. Tyler Ayers was in coverage by himself. He got slightly behind Ayers, but here's the beautiful thing. Your free safety, Ryan Hill, came over for some assistance. He had to put that ball right in the right spot for it to be caught. I don't mind. I love the effort on the secondary that time. Good coverage, excellent job of help defense.
3rd and 15. This time they're going to line up everybody right side. Let's see if the Rockets come off the opposite side. Now they're just going to run Brown. Getting to the corner, got a big hole. 10, 15, and he'll pick up his first down. Noble, that was the Red Sea, and it just parted.
Yes, it did, T-Roy, and all those red jerseys. And you was asking for Brown. What can Brown do for you? And he's seen all those red jerseys. And that, as an athlete, T-Roy, that is dangerous to see a big sea of red lined up there. And knowing what Brown has, the capabilities, when you see him walled off like that, you just hope that they bring him down. And this time, fortunately for us, unfortunately, we didn't get to stop him from the first down. But Liam Bell and also your free safety, Ryan Hill, come up and made the tackle that
Noble,
time.
numbers. Rockets were coming from the right side. They just ran away, and they had numbers over on this right side. There weren't enough white jerseys there to be able to make the play.
No, it was not.
Give up the middle. One cutback, 20, out to about the 22, 23-yard line.
Run. Gain of 5 on the play.
Rockets making a stop. Carson Yates got some help. Gain of about 5 on first down. Now 2nd and 5 for the Tigers. 7.5 minutes left here, second quarter.
T-Roy, that was Pearson he got some help from that time. Reggie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed. That's who helped him out, Reggie. Great job, Reggie.
Meza now will be your receiver short side right. They'll line up 3 receivers to the left side of the field. One back behind Brown, who operates from the gun. Quick pass, Meza, 25. Little cutback, gets inside, out to about the 30 where he'll pick up his first down, but that is just getting your athlete in space, Noble.
Did get his athlete in space, and it's not much you can say about that, T-Roy, so I'm going to focus on the positive. I want to accentuate the positive that time. It was 4 white jerseys who closed in on him, T-Roy. Yeah. You had your athlete out in space, but guess what? He only picked up 3 additional yards after he caught that.
And that's the thing, Noble. You can't afford to press coverage against him because he is so good.
No, you can't press him. He'll put pressure on you.
Gave up the little short pass and the first down from the 28-yard line now. Mount Pleasant, 2 receivers to each side. Man in motion as they go with a little sweep. trying to get to the corner now, cutting it back inside. Pickup of a couple. Was that Liam Bell, I believe, got over there for the stop.
Troy, can I give you an update?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, I got a smile on my face.
Yeah.
5'10", 175-pound senior Tatum Swift is back on defense with 6 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second half. Young man went out the last play of the first quarter, went over there and got some attention. Y'all take your hat off to the staff over there. I don't know who did the treatment over there. They wrapped him up. I seen him wrapping his shoulder, and that young man is back on the field. I told him he was tough. I met him on Monday again. Tough fella, Tatum Swift.
2nd and 8. Meza in motion. Brown to throw. Got a little heat flush from the pocket. Keeps his head up, throws downfield. What a bullet. Incomplete. Receiver had a chance. Witherspoon in and out of his hands at the 20. But Noble, that's a gun.
That is a gun. Drew Glover, T-Roy, running on him. And I'll tell you what, not only did it go through his hands, that thing hit him in the face mask, T-Roy. It hit him in the face mask, and he threw a cannon that time, T-Roy.
That was a rope.
On one leg, on one foot. On one foot, T-Roy.
I was about to say, that was the impressive part about it. And Noble, did you see the great thing he does that you don't teach? I mean, at this level a lot of times. They tell you, keep your head up, look downfield. He never looked down.
He never did, T-Roy. And he was comfortable in his ability to be able to escape the pressure, T-Roy.
3rd down and 8. Now you got that man-to-man matchup over here. As Brown on 3rd down. Rockets showing blitz. Here they come, straight up the middle. Mount Pleasant picks it up. Brown rolling, looking downfield again. Man back there, pass is caught.
Incredible kick.
Coming back, Ayers was all over Mesa, but he came back to his quarterback and made a great grab for a 1st down at the Rocket 22-yard line.
Take your hat off to Brown, T-Roy. Ayers was doing everything he could do. Number 21 was down there. He had him in single coverage. Mesa, they both got turned around, T-Roy. Brown decided, I'm going to put the ball in the air. I'm going to try my athlete in the air. And my man,
he found the football.
Yes, indeed. He did an excellent job and had very little time to turn around and catch it.
Back to the ground. Trying to get outside now, breaking a couple of tackles. Gets inside. He's on his way. One more time. The broken tackle, broken record. It's played again. JoJo Robertson from 22 yards out, and the Tigers have taken a 20-0 lead here with 5:03 left in the second. And once again, same story, different verse.
Not only the same story, T-Roy. I'm just having trouble. We're diving at their feet, T-Roy. And when you're taught to tackle, you're taught to break down, and you're taught to put your shoulder pads in the midsection, T-Roy, and we're aiming for their shoelaces.
Point after try, Collier on. Out of the hold of Alderson, kick in the air, and the kick is good. And with 5:03 left here, second quarter, it's now Mount Pleasant 21 and Forrest nothing.
21, Forrest Rocket 0.
Don't know what I would do without you to show me the way and the truth. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you. If I didn't have you.
Local agents Scott Bond and Troy Cashin. Are you moving to the area and need a place to store your possessions? Are you trying to declutter your existing space or needing a place to park your boat, RV, truck, trailer, or camper? There's a simple solution. It's Highway 99 Storage. Conveniently located off Highway 99 and James King Road, it's a lighted, secure, and fenced-in area to keep your valuables safe. New units available with climate control. Call 364-5678 to rent. That's Highway 99 Storage.
Tigers to kick it off, lead it 21-0. Deep kick this time, backpedaling, and it will get into the end zone. And the Rockets now will try to take over and get something going here before the break. Noble, you think about this. Now you're in a situation where you have to take the rest of the half because Mount Pleasant gets the football back to begin the third quarter. You go 3 and out here, they get another shot to score. You're suddenly looking at a running clock early in the third quarter if you cannot take advantage here.
It's not a pleasant scenario you just set up, T-Roy. And here's the thing. Ryan Hill, he hadn't had a lot of time back there to be able to set up and find the open receiver tonight.
Hill under center. Give coming right. Davis, good hard running. He turns it upfield across the 20 out to about the 25.
5-yard gain.
Davis goes over. They give him a little water boy water, get him back ready to go. He and Swift must have had a couple of drinks of that on the sideline.
Hey, they got some of that miracle water over there. They got some miracle water. I've seen both of those young men look as though they may not return, but, hey, they shake it off and come right on back, my man, and I don't know what these young men are made of.
The Swift watch 58 to get him to 1,000. Give outside Liam Bell. Good penetration that time by Mount Pleasant. He couldn't ever get started. No gain on the play. It'll be now 3rd down and 5 upcoming for the Rockets.
And here's the thing, T-Roy. We often talk about how fast teams we've seen are on offense. These guys we've been seeing this year, we've seen about 3 or 4 teams that's just as fast on defense.
Yeah. This is a good-looking group here. They've got a lot of athletes, well coached. Coach Hartsfield's done a really nice job here in his second season. Give on 3rd down, looking for some running room and not finding a lot there, as there were just a lot of red jerseys inside that line, inside that box, and you just don't have a lot of room to run there. As I think Swift there gets about 3 more, so he is now, 55 yards away from the century mark for the season.
Correction,
Coach Stevenson, I'm still going out.
1,000, I said century.
Still going out for the campaign. Let's get the young man about 25 touches. Let's give him every opportunity to go in the history books at the Rockets.
Going for it on 4th down here. 4th and 2. And they're going to back
Sneak.
out.
Look at the hole. Look at the hole. Sneak right off. Look at, you see the quarterback
I
sneak.
see it.
Oh,
they're
no
going to take a
timeout,
timeout.
Coach. No, they're going to change the defense.
Timeout taken. We'll take it with them. 3:10 left here, second quarter. 21-0 Mount Pleasant.
Know that with Apex Banking Online, you can access your accounts, pay bills, and send money to friends and family anytime. Our online banking feature gives you the advantage of secure banking right from anywhere. With our mobile app and online services, banking has never been more convenient. We're here to serve you wherever you go. Visit us in Chapel Hill or call 931-246-7105. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Joseph Fowler and his outstanding staff are dedicated to providing the most effective, clinically superior physical therapy humanly possible. They make it easy to get back in the game by accepting most insurances, including Medicare. They specialize in total joint replacement rehab and orthopedic conditions. They'll help get your range of motion, flexibility, and your strength back. They even assist in dizziness and balance disorders. Get yourself back in the game at Benchmark Physical Therapy, 4654 Nashville Highway.
Stop in the backfield. Back corner. Share.
4th down, fellas, and just as well probably we were a little late getting back due to the break, and probably thankfully so. Right up the middle, right into big number 69 and going nowhere.
Yes, indeed, Troy. We tried the quarterback sneak, and we called a timeout. And unfortunately, when the Tigers came back, they decided clearly that they were going to change up the defense. And
they put big 69 right in the middle.
And he'll fill a
that's
gap
right
for
where
you.
we ran it.
Yes, indeed. And he was not there before the timeout, Troy.
Rockets trying to get some personnel on the field here as Brown quickly swings it out. Left side. Cuts it back inside, 20, stays on his feet, eludes a couple more tackles, picks up his first down as it'll be Kevon Cooper. About 13 on the gain and plenty of time left for the Tigers. Just under 3 minutes, clock moving here as they've got it 1st and 10 down at the Rockets 16-yard line. Gamble on 4th down by Forrest. Comes up short. Now the Mount Pleasant Tigers with a short field of their own here.
Very short. They're going to put the ball in space.
Brown fakes. Now he'll tuck. Just weaves his way up the middle. And he'll pick up about 6-7 yards before finally being taken down. And we got another injured player down on the field. That's Swift. He's trying to stay in the game.
He's fighting through it, T-Roy. The previous two plays, he's been slow to get up. He's fighting through it, T-Roy. That young man is giving you everything he has. And I'll tell you what, a shoulder is absolutely nothing to play with when you play as physical as this young man plays.
2nd down and 3 now. Mount Pleasant from the Rocket 9. Clock moving. When they snap, it will be under 2 minutes left here in the second quarter. Of course, Mount Pleasant can afford to take their time. They get the second half kickoff. Give coming right. Gets to the corner, trying to get to the sticks.
Run by
Davidson. Xavier
Brings
Davidson.
Another Chick-fil-A first down.
Pushed out of bounds at the 2. It'll be first down and goal to goal. And Noble, once again, plenty of time for him here, a minute and a half, or a minute 50.
Being sold by the
yes,
concession
indeed,
stand.
Troy, and it's going to be Brown. You asked for Brown, Troy. They've been giving Brown an opportunity to hand the ball up the middle or to be able to keep it. This time it's going to go right up the middle, Troy. Watch Brown.
First and goal. One back behind him, man in motion. They'll give right up the middle and into the end zone. They went back to Davidson. Xavier Davidson from 2 yards out. And it's now 27-0 Tigers with a minute 46 left here in the second quarter. Nova, I was going to check the scoreboard, but very little use right now.
Yes, indeed, Troy. And Brown, he has the option, Troy. He's just surveying the field. He has the luxury of being able to hand the ball off to the up back or to be able to keep it. And that time, clearly, 2 yards out, he's going to give it to the up back. And the up back has a lot of size. They don't list the young man on the sheet here, but he's a nice-sized fellow.
Extra point in the air, and it's good. You look at Mount Pleasant. Very few weaknesses for the Tigers. Kicking game solid as well. Timeout on the field. 1:46 left here, second quarter. It's 28-0 Tigers.
All those that have been sponsoring the Mount Pleasant High School Tigers football team. We would like to recognize you for your generosity. At this
Funeral home and cremation services had its beginning in 1939 when Thomas H. Lawrence established the business. Lawrence Funeral Home has always strived to provide compassionate, dignified, and professional service to every family it serves, regardless of their circumstances. Lawrence Funeral Home pledges to the families of Marshall and surrounding counties to continue providing excellence in funeral service. In your time of need, our family is there for your family. Lawrence Funeral Home and Cremation Service.
Stop in and visit Mac Equipment, your largest Exmark and Cub Cadet dealer in the state of Tennessee. Locally owned and operated in the heart of Chapel Hill at 109 North Horton Parkway, next to Southern Roots Hair Salon. Mac Equipment offers parts, sales, service, and rental. Their factory-certified technicians also service multiple brands of outdoor power equipment, making this a perfect stop for your future equipment repairs. Don't forget to visit our 2 other locations in Murfreesboro and Lewisburg. That's Mac Equipment.
Collier to kick it off. 28-0 Tigers. 1:46 left here, second quarter, as he booms this one toward the end zone. Taken at the goal line, center of the field, and they'll say he was actually in the end zone, Davis, so it'll come out, and the Rockets will get a shot here before halftime. And Noble, I think right now, it's just the objective is to not get a running clock put on you right now.
Troy, what you have just described is pride, sir, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
You just described pride. You just described one of those cases that we always chalk up to at the end of the game when the score, you happen to have 0, and they start to put in their second team or third team, you start trying to say, we're going to keep our first team out there because we want to put some points up. It's just pride at this stage.
Blaine Meeks, receiver wide right. Hill rolls that way. Fires pass, intermediate. Pass caught at about the 32, 33, inching forward to about the 35-yard line.
Troy, Hill didn't have a lot of time, but that's the most time he's had all night.
Yeah, and that was Davis on the receiving end. Second grab of the night for Chris. It'll pick up a first down. A minute and a half left here in the second quarter.
I think the circumstance require us to roll out and throw the ball again. Let's see if we go wide side, left side.
Just trying to get him away from the pressure. Here comes Alderson again, right in his face, and that pass completed. Hill did a wonderful job. Smeet Patel with a great catch, and he got tattooed for his effort at the 40. Smeet, the senior.
Troy, here's what you hear them say at the professional level a lot. Hill rolled out. He stopped. He seen a defender
Chandler
who
Hughes
is much
with it.
bigger than him. He stopped and he found a passing lane, Troy, and he hit Smeet Patel right in the numbers in the passing lane.
Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. They go quickly. This time got a little throwing lane, steps in and fires pass incomplete and almost intercepted. That time back there lurking in the shadows was Uriah Archibald. Got his hand on it, and it'll bring up 3rd down now, and they're lucky to get that one back.
Yeah, we got locked in on the receiver that time. Already had our mind made up who the ball was going to go to that time, T-Roy. And I tell you what, I want to hear this, I want to say this, and I want to be real clear. When you don't have a lot of time back there, you have to make your mind up fairly quickly.
Here's what I'm going to say. That was 2nd down, pass incomplete. What does that do?
Stops the clock.
Stops the clock. Now 3rd down, what do you do here? Still 43 seconds left.
Pass the ball again, Troy. You pass it all the way downfield.
You got to, but they go back to the ground here with Davis, and Davis is going to be hit down short of his 1st down. They're going to make Mount Pleasant at least burn a timeout here.
Hit by Wood.
And the Tigers will indeed oblige. 36 seconds as timeout taken. It'll bring up 4th down. We'll take a quick break and be right back.
The Tigers, their 2nd of the half.
Hey, there's my girl. Who's that?
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. Ream Heating Equipment was designed to bring affordable comfort to any home. So no matter your budget, we can help you feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Go, come on. Yes, let's go.
When it's time for a tune-up or a new HVAC system, contact the trusted pros at Clint's Air Care for expert service and installation.
36 ticks of the clock left here. 4th down for the Rockets. 4th, we'll call it a long 2 here.
Got a little excited, T-Roy. I was looking at the personnel as they was huddling up, but personnel doesn't look the same when they broke the huddle. That I thought I seen a play coming up, being drawn up, but they're not going to run that.
Cohen Grissom deep to punt at about his 25. Backpedaling is Cooper. Back to the Tiger 30. They snap it short, give it inside, and Davis will pick up the 1st down by inches. Little trickeration there. It works. And they'll at least get to run out the clock here in the 1st half.
Yeah, they did, T-Roy. It was a little trickeration that time, T-Roy.
1st down run by the
I wasn't expecting that.
I had it in the back of my mind. Maybe they rolled the dice. I didn't know about that, but
I wasn't expecting that time, T-Roy. And I got surprised when I seen Cohen Grissom come out. I got a little surprised when I seen him come out in the punt formation, to be perfectly honest with you.
I was just talking to Coach Stacy. Coaches are up here, and it was one of those plays they ran back in the day. Coach Stacy, of course, was at Marshall County back in the day. They ran that same thing and picked up a 1st down with Elliott Cook, who is now on the staff at Cornersville. So, that means we've just been doing this a long time to remember those things.
Hey, you have an excellent memory, my man. It means both of those. You have an excellent memory, and you've been around a while.
I like excellent memory better. Final play of the half upcoming here is Hill rolling, trying to get away, and he is slung down by McClure. And that will end the 1st half as the Mount Pleasant Tigers coming out and showing why they are the top seed in Region 5. They lead it as we go to halftime. It's Mount Pleasant 28 and Forrest nothing.
At halftime, it's your Mount Pleasant High School Tigers 28, Rocket 0. As the cheerleaders take the field, we want to congratulate them on getting their bid to nationals at Disney. They will be competing for state on November 5th.
Y'all good. Welcome back here at halftime. Mount Pleasant 28 and the Rockets nothing. And Noble, take nothing away from the performance by Mount Pleasant here. They have come out. They got on the Rockets early and took control of this game with a very nice offense here. They got a lot of skilled people, really want to spread the field and make it tough on you, get those guys in space. And when you don't tackle well, that becomes an extra burden.
And T-Roy, I'll add to your extra burden. Not only when you don't tackle well, you have an extra burden. When you flip it on offense, and if you don't hold your blocks well, it as an extra burden. So we're not holding our blocks very well, and some of them we're not even completing. So as a result of that, you've seen Hill being rushed to try to get rid of the ball on several different occasions. T-Roy.
And here's the thing, Noble. You're going to see a season close out here at 3-7, a season after 2 games of the year where you were the number 2 ranked team in the state. And you talk about wheels falling off quickly. Injuries mount, and this team just really had a difficult time closing out this season. They will pick up 1 win in their final 8 contests, and I'm assuming, I would love to hope for a miracle here, but down 28 at halftime, I'm kind of being a little realistic at this point.
And I appreciate you being a realist, T-Roy, because here's the thing. You can bring me the Rockets' most impressive offense second half.
Yeah.
But that's not the problem. So in order for us to have a real conversation, Troy, you got to stop the opposing team. And you've already spotted them 28. So if you're going to come out and you're going to win this game, at some point in time, the defense also got to go along with that game plan.
I think the one thing that probably most of us are going to point back to, and I think there's probably going to be some grace given for these last 2 or 3 games, because, anytime you start 4 new starters that, did not start in week 1 of the season up front, that's going to be a difficult ask for your offensive line. But as we said, against Richland, they put 41 on the board. They played well last week against East Robertson. They only got 14 on the board, but they ran up and down the field. Here tonight, Mount Pleasant, with those 2 big guys up front, you got big number 64 Alderson and even bigger number 69 Connor Scherer up front. Those guys have really controlled the line of scrimmage. That's a tough ask for guys who have not played and started at the high school level to try to take on athletes like that. Very few running lanes tonight. I think the only thing really in the second half that we're going to have a lot of interest in is whether Swift can gut it out and pick up his 1,000 yards or not.
2 key things you said to me, Troy. I'm going to start with the first one. You said, I want to look at all the work you put in. Out of these 10 games, at what stage are you telling me that the injuries started to be, that injury bug started to be an impact? And the reason I ask you that is this. They put up 35 against Marion County. They put up 41 against Richland. And we know that they were in the game against East Robertson, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to know, when did the injury bug start to impact everything? Because I haven't yet been convinced that most of this lopsided thing that I've been watching with the Rockets, I have yet to buy into the idea that it's all about injuries, T-Roy, because the conversation we've been having has been about defensive play.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Noble. I think for me, I think my thought of this season is going to be that 49-0 Cascade game. That one's tough to get out of your brain. I mean, you are a program that some people in the state before this season began picked you to come out of the West. Now, you wrap your head around that for a few minutes. You're number 2 in the state after week 2. Now, given it's Eagleville and Cornersville, neither one of those teams have had a great season this year. But at the end of this season, what we're going to look back at is a 49-0 game against Cascade, where Cascade, you cannot tell me, you will not make me believe that they're 49 points better than the Forrest Rockets.
I won't even try to convince you of
that. That was a disappointing loss for me in the sense that I didn't see the effort. I didn't see the spirit and the fire that you want to see. That's what we're talking about. You've talked about numerous times tonight that you want to see. That is where That's where there's a disconnect that you got to look at.
And I'll tell you what, after that rant you just went on, you said nothing about injuries in any of that, Troy. Nothing about injuries. And that's all I'm posing to the table is where in this lineup does it say that injuries is the cause for this lopsided season? That's all I'm asking. And I don't contribute this to injuries.
You know, and I think, Noble, I think we all want to look at this in the terms of, I guess for me, these guys are not getting paid to do what they do. But they're not free from any criticism whatsoever. I think we want to be honest in the fact that there is an expectation level that we see that sometimes we weren't getting.
And here's the thing. They always told me it was constructive criticism. I don't think it's negative that we're saying up here. I don't think it's negativity. I think it's constructive criticism. I think we're watching what we're seeing. And here's the thing, Troy. I have a lot of confidence in young folks' ability to be able to appreciate honest assessment. And I think that everything we've said has been honest and true, and it's been fair. And I don't think these young men would also look us in the eye and tell us, hey, they don't think it's injury either. They'll be the first one to tell you, I got in the game, I had an opportunity, I had a responsibility, and either I got the job done or I didn't. And here's the thing. What you said to me was 49-0 Cascade. You're telling me clearly that Cascade's not a 49-point favorite over the Rockets. And all I'm saying to you is you cannot contribute that to injury if they're not a 49-point favorite. You have to ask yourself, if I line up and it's white jersey against orange jersey, at the end of the day, can I try every once in a while, maybe 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3 times, to push the man in the orange jersey back a couple times?
Yeah, I guess my thing is, and I hearken back to being, I'm going to unashamedly admit I'm really old school for a few things. One of the things that I was very much disappointed in at that game was I didn't see the intensity. I didn't see the desire that when you're getting your hat handed to you to get back off the turf and punch somebody in the mouth. Be offended that you're getting beat that bad. It was taking the beating that I didn't like.
I like how you said it. Now watch this. Rather than be offended by something either you say or something I say, should be offended by Cascade coming and putting 49 on you. That's what you'd be offended by, not something we said. We hadn't said anything offensive.
I've seen a lot of Rocket football back in the old days, the 60s and 70s and 80s, maybe even in the 90s, but 60s and 70s maybe, and some in the 80s. Everybody on the team expected to win. Everybody expected something out of your teammates. We got a man behind us here that can big part of that. When we beat Lewisburg 2 times in a row. Sorry about that, Nova.
Hey.
But
you got on the field, you beat them.
It wasn't just Lewisburg. It was the old Duck River Valley Conference down in the dirt with Moore County and Huntland year after year. Chapel Hill guys expected each other and just played off each other's talents, emotions. Whatever they had, they left it out on the field. And I don't know. We live in a world where times are changing. And I don't know, but it's not the same. That's all I'm going to say.
I can't question individual effort, but as a team, this group, you see teams that just, you talk about not meshing together, that you have a lot of individual pieces, but they don't match, that they don't come together and make a cohesive unit. This team has kind of had that feel for me, that you've had guys that have been, you can't fault effort for individuals, but when you put it together collectively, it just hadn't been what you want.
I said times has changed, but the game of football has not changed.
And that's all I've been trying to press on Troy, is the game is still the game, Troy. And at the end of the day, we got to line up over here, and I got to be able to push the line back. And here's the thing. You said it nicely. You cannot challenge individual effort in a team sport. It's 11 players out there. You can't challenge individual effort. It requires all of us to do our job, because here's the thing. You can have all 10 give their heart and play their best, but if that one doesn't come and they doesn't fill the gap, they don't do the fundamentals, the train is going to come off track. So you got to look at the whole team. It's not an individual effort. And here's the beautiful thing about it, Troy. Here's the beautiful thing about it. whatever film we look at on Fridays and whatever we put on tape, they turn around and they got to look at that in the next 24 hours. So they have been able to see exactly what they put on tape.
Yeah, and, I feel bad because I'm sitting here and there's nothing that I want more than for this group to excel. That's what we love to see. These young men have success on and off the field. And you feel bad in a way. I almost feel like I'm being negative toward them, but it's just because I think we care so much about this program and what we're seeing in this program right now that we don't want to see.
And I'll let Mr. Sweeney go ahead with the stats in a second, because I don't think what Troy is saying is negative, because all Troy is doing is just being passionate about wanting to see young men be successful.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back with Ricky with our halftime stats.
Okay. Hometown banking. It's having your decisions made by a bank right here in your town, not in another city, county, or even state. It's neighbors and friends who know your name and take the time to greet you when you walk in. It's modern technology such as online banking and mobile check deposits, while still being able to talk to a living, breathing human. Come visit us at 4641 Nashville Highway or call us at 364-7888. First Commerce Bank, your first choice for hometown banking, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
Moving forward with strong tradition. It's the town's motto, but it holds so true today. The town of Chapel Hill is balancing expanded growth with preserving the small town traditions that make it special. The town's administration and employees would like to take this time to reaffirm their commitment to the citizens of Chapel Hill and to wish the Rockets and Lady Rockets success in their upcoming seasons. From the home of the Lions Super Bowl of the South, the town of Chapel Hill says, "Go Rockets!"
28-0 here at halftime. Ricky Sweeney, our halftime stats.
Thank you, Troy. Rockets rushed it 23 times for 49 yards in the first half. Ryan Hill, quarterback for the Rockets, 4 of 8 passing, no interceptions in the first half, good for 70 yards. Total offense for the Rockets in the first half, 119. Mount Pleasant rushed it 15 times for 171 yards, 5 of 7 passing tonight, no interceptions for 88 yards through the air. Total offense, 259 for Mount Pleasant. Individually for you Forest Rockets, Ryan Hill, not a lot of time back there tonight passing the ball. Therefore, he had 3 sacks in the ball game. He ended up the first half 5 rushing attempts for minus 30. That put a damper on the Rockets' total yards in the first half. Tayton Swift had 5 carries for 29 yards. Chris Davis, 9 carries for 47 yards. Liam Bale, 4 carries for 3 yards. Pass receiving tonight for the Rockets. Chris Davis caught a couple of balls tonight, both of them for first downs. 2 catches, 1 for 45, 1 for 13. Smeet Patel, great job holding on to the ball that he caught. Didn't have much of a choice. Hill delivered it right between the 8 and the 8, the 2 snowballs that makes the 8. 1 catch for Smeet tonight for 7 yards. Landon Groenfeld, 1 for 5. Individually for Mount Pleasant as they lead it here 28-0 at halftime. Quarterback Nick Brown, 3 carries for 32 yards. Darian Meza, 1 carry for 15. Xavier Davidson, 3 carries for 8 yards. He had a 2-yard touchdown run. Micah Hiddison, 1 carry for 2 yards. Kevon Cooper, 1 carry for 3 yards. Jacari McClure, 2 carries for 2 yards. And the big damage done in the first half by Austin Hicks, number 30. He had 4 carries for 109 yards, an 82-yard touchdown run, and a 21-yard touchdown run. Pass catching for Mount Pleasant. Kevon Cooper caught 2 balls for 32 yards. Austin Hicks, 1 catch for 2 yards. And Darian Meza, 2 catches for 54 yards. That 47-yarder was a dart from quarterback Brown.
Man, that was a wonderful throw.
That's your first half stats. Rockets traded here at halftime, 28-0.
Fellas, what do you think here in the second half? I'm kind of like, what I'm looking for. I want to see if Swift can get his 1,000. That's why I'm staying around to the end to see if he can manage to do that and get an individual accomplishment out of this season. Right now, the playoff picture, of course, is out of reach if you if you kind of look at this realistically right now. But, you just want to see what they can do in the second half. I guess this is like that 49-0 deal. I want to see where your heart's at.
Yeah, there's 24 minutes of football left in the Rockets football season. Let's see what we can get out of it. Guys, come on.
Swift needs 54 yards according to the math you have there. And guys, I'm probably not as good as Mr. Sweeney, and I probably got a little excited with the games. I don't have any Rocket with 3 solo tackles, and I don't know how many plays you had.
It's
down.
probably right. They haven't run that many enough to get 3.
I don't have anybody with 3 solo tackles.
Yeah.
Y'all, I'm trying to check a few scores. Here's some of the ones that we have maybe of some interest. We talked about the Region 6 matchup. Lewis County is leading Riverside. This score at the half, 7-0. A little bit of a surprise there. Many people thought Riverside, and including us, probably the class of that region might be a couple of score game, but Lewis County's got better as the season has gone on. New coaching staff, new philosophy. They've continued to improve. They lead at 7-0 at the half. Nothing on Cascade and Summertown. I've looked at 2 or 3 different services and can't find anything there. Richland leading Loretta 19-14. That's the battle for second place here in Region 5 that we'll kind of watch as the night goes on. One of the battles locally that we're watching, Greenbrier and Marshall County. The Tigers and Greenbrier battling really for second place. Greenbrier leading that one in the second quarter 7-6. So we'll keep an eye on a few more scores that we find for you. Page, they've been good the last few years. 38-3 at halftime over Lincoln County. And, boy, can you imagine, we're old enough to remember when Lincoln County was a dynasty. Boy, those days have long passed.
Yeah, they have. You were mentioning the tackles.
Yes, sir.
Tackles.
Yes, sir.
Mount Pleasant has 15 rushing plays, 4 of those for touchdowns. So that only leaves 11.
Only leaves
tackles.
11. So that I appreciate it. That helped me with my math. But there are only 11 attempts to be able to tackle somebody.
That's why you don't have many tackles.
That's why I don't have anybody with 3 solos.
Fellas, with that being said, we've still got a little while before we get set for this third quarter. Players beginning to make their way onto the field. Let's take another break. We'll be right back.
Amigo's Mexican Grill is the place you'll find all your authentic favorites, from burritos to enchiladas to sizzling fajitas, all served fast and fresh. Dine in, order online, or call in your order at 364-2222. Also, Amigos has catering services available for your next big occasion as well. Good food, good times at Amigos Mexican Grill, 216 South Orton Parkway. Visit their other locations in Lewisburg and Spring Hill. Amigos, proud supporters of the Rockets.
Lewisburg Animal Hospital serves the veterinary needs of Marshall County. They've grown to a 4-doctor practice specializing in small animal medicine. They offer advanced medicine, surgery, and nursing care in a personal and relaxed environment with the utmost compassion for their patients. For your pet's grooming and boarding needs, Maggie Rue Pet Retreat and Grooming Salon is located adjacent to the hospital. Call 931-359-5945 to schedule an appointment for your pet.
In their class, the MPHS Color Garden Field Commander Victoria Stow won Best in Class awards. The band travels tomorrow to Watertown to compete again.
As you can't have it all. At Brooks Grocery, they've got farm fresh fruits and vegetables, a deli with a selection of freshly prepared favorites, Brooks specialties like Ava's pimento cheese and Adam's chicken salad, freshly made pies, cakes, and desserts. And who could possibly forget the best meat department you'll find anywhere? Great selection, online ordering, and friendly customer service. Brooks Grocery, the place you'll find your next favorite food.
Chapel Hill Family Dentistry has been serving the oral care needs of Chapel Hill and the surrounding area since 2006. They're a general and cosmetic dental practice dedicated to improving your smile and the overall oral health of you and your entire family. Their goal is to provide superior quality health care in a comfortable environment. Call and schedule your appointment today at 364-4557. That's Dr. William Bell and the Chapel Hill Dentistry staff, proud supporters of the Forest Rockets.
Alex Plunkett.
And welcome back here at halftime, as it is Mount Pleasant leading the Rockets 28-0. Mount Pleasant on the way to winning the 5A AA region crown. And sending the Rockets home for the season. And boy, who would have thought that when we started this season?
No, you come in, you have your preconceived notions about how the season may work out, Troy. And here's the biggest thing I probably can say to that, to respond to that. I bet the young men in the locker room for the Rockets never imagined the season working out this way either. And at the end of the day, those are the only ones, and that's the only opinion and perception that matter. Is they're the ones who had to come out here night in and night out on Friday nights, and they didn't foresee the season working out this way either.
No, I don't think if you polled anybody at the start of this season, I don't think if you said, hey, the Rockets, you may have found a few folks that would have said, yeah, the Rockets might not win the region. And that would have been people that were just in love with their own team. They would have never, I don't think you would have found two people throughout all these fan bases, and that may be stretching it, that thought they wouldn't have made the playoffs.
And I'll say this, Mr. Sweeney, that probably brings me to the most important thing that just hit my mind. Regardless of everybody's feelings about the season, if you want to use the word disappointed or whatever word, frustrated or whatever, there's no individuals more disappointed or frustrated than whatever that number that they have in those jerseys. I don't know what the roster is. If they got 45 young men, there's not a group of young men that's feeling any worse. I don't care how the community feels. I don't care about the parents. I don't even care about the coaches. There's no one more disappointed and frustrated than that group out there in those gray pants and those white jerseys.
With that being said, let's take one final break. We'll be back with your second half.
Eye Care Clinic, Dr. Jeffrey Jordan and his staff offer a wide range of services, including comprehensive eye exams, advanced testing, and eye disease management. Fashion frames from top names like Guess and Kate Spade. They also stay on top of new eye care advances like Vuity and Upneat. And that unique Dr. J touch that always leaves you with a smile until your next visit. Make your appointment at 359-4373. Advanced Eye Care Clinic, 815 East Commerce.
Your one-stop shop to keep your vehicle running smooth is J&J Automotive. From routine maintenance like oil changes to brake repairs, tires and alignment, and exhaust work as well, J&J has got you covered. They work on gas and diesel engines. Call Vince or Matt Jackson at 931-364-5602 or stop by their location at 1791 Highway 99. Keep your vehicle in tip-top shape at J&J Automotive.
Start of the third quarter upcoming here as Mount Pleasant will get the kickoff. And Noel, as we talked about, here's your pride. You got to have a stop right here, and you do not want to. I don't care who you are. The worst thing you can do is have a running clock.
And I'll tell you what, Troy. I'll tell you what. Here's what I will say. Not only your pride, and I have no reason to even say this because I have not seen it or indication from this team, but not only your pride, but it's the last game. You got to keep your composure also. There's a certain amount of dignity that you want to keep, and at the end of the day, you want to walk out of here with a certain amount of class.
I don't care right now. I just want to see somebody with some fire. I don't care about if somebody lost their composure right now. It's okay with me because that way I see a little fire.
I hear you, Troy. I would like to see the young men still represent themselves, their school, and their parents and their coaching staff.
I'm with you. I'm on board with that. I just want to see some passion.
I don't have any problem with passion. I don't have any issue with raw passion. That just simply means you care.
Yeah. G-Square set to get this second half underway.
Onside kick, Mr. Sweeney said.
Yeah, they're all ready for that. You see Mount Pleasant right up front.
Well, he has an expertise for going 10 yards.
That one, he got it 10 yards. Rockets got a hand on it. It squirts free, and Mount Pleasant will pick it up at about the 33-yard line. Hey, you couldn't do that any better.
I tell you why you couldn't have done it any better. Mr. Sweeney, Mount Pleasant got 11 players, and they only had one guy. Yeah. Only one guy who actually had a legitimate chance of getting that ball, Troy. Talk about bad luck. Darian Mesa is the only person out of 11-man team out there that had an opportunity to get that.
They knew it was coming. They had 9 guys.
Well, that's why I said and that was an expert at it. My man, I went to chemistry class. Let me tell you about chemistry class right after this play, T-Roy. I'll tell you who I seen.
Brown turns and gives. Big hole. 35 to the 40. 45 midfield stripe down the sideline, and he is going to be pushed out of bounds at about the 12. And, hey, go back right here. Number 5, Ryan Hill. He could have quit and let him go the distance. That's what I'm talking about.
Like
Hustled across the field to take Davidson out of bounds.
That's your pride, sir.
That's pride.
That's your leading tackle. That's your leading tackler for the game. T-Roy, I had a whole lot of folks who had 1.5 tackles for the first half. That young man there playing free safety, he came over there, did not let him go. That's pride. If you look up the word, you'll see Ryan Hill smiling in the dictionary.
First and goal from the 8. Back to the ground they go, pounding it forward inside the 5 down to about the 4. Once again is Xavier Davidson. Second down and goal now.
Gain of 5 on the play.
Carson Yates in on the tackle that time, T-Roy.
Brings up second down and 4.
Here's an opportunity. Ball on the 9.5-yard line, T-Roy. So it's going to be a huge opportunity. And you know it's 4-down territory. You keep talking about pride. Let's just see if we can push some of those red jerseys back.
Just underway here in the third quarter. Brown with Davidson behind him. Back to him they go, pounding his way forward, trying to get there, and he does. Last lean got him there. And it's Mount Pleasant opening up with a nice drive here. A very short one down the field as they pick up the touchdown. 34-0 now with 10:42 left here in the third quarter.
And there I was thinking it was on the 9, it was on the 4. So they got in that time, T-Roy. And again, we talked about it in the first half. Here's a case where pride comes in again. Now you got to try to figure out how to get on the scoreboard and get that 0 off of there.
Yes, most definitely. Collier on for the point after try. Snap was a little low, but fielded nicely by Alderson. He hammers the extra point home. So with 10:42 left here in the third quarter, your new score, it is Mount Pleasant 35 and the Rockets nothing. We'll be right back.
Don't know what I would do without you to show me the way and the truth. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you. If I didn't have you.
Your local agents, Scott Bond and Troy Cashin. Are you moving to the area and need a place to store your possessions? Are you trying to declutter your existing space or needing a place to park your boat, RV, truck, trailer, or camper? There's a simple solution. It's Highway 99 Storage. Conveniently located off Highway 99 and James King Road, it's a lighted, secure, and fenced-in area to keep your valuables safe. New units available with climate control. Call 364-5678 to rent. That's Highway 99 Storage.
Mount Pleasant 35-0 Tigers as Davidson does the heavy lifting on that drive, punches it home from 4 yards out.
Not the start you wanted coming out of the locker room, T-Roy.
Fielded middle of the field at the 5, 10, 15, 20 bail out to about the 25 where the Rockets will begin from there. And Noble could be a very short second half.
It very well could be, T-Roy. And
brings up first and 10 from
little
Forrest.
Slight
26.
opportunities like that. Every time I get a little excited and I see some blocking or whatever, it just seems like our holes don't stay open very long.
Well, I'm going to tell you, too, the thing I will get excited about is the effort by Hill. He came across the field and made it stop where those are sometimes the times when you just give up on a play. He didn't, and that's what you want to see.
That's your leader going into next year, Troy. You ain't got to look no farther than your quarterback.
Trying to get outside, and once again, pressure coming. It was McClure who makes the sack. Loss of 5. It'll be second down and 15 now.
And that line for the Tigers, T-Roy, the defense, been impressive. They've been in the backfield all night. And Hill, I don't know what the number is or inside the clock in his head that says I got to get rid of the ball, but it's a serious case of him saying I ain't got number about a second and a half. I got to let this ball go.
Hill. They'll give it up the middle, and Not a lot going on there except a lot of red jerseys. And Noble, they're right now, Hill's in a tough spot. They're just selling out saying, hey, you're going to have to go over the top and try to beat us. We're not going to let you run.
Well, here's the thing. You're going to always be in a tough spot if you're not very effective at something, T-Roy. You're going to have to either be effective at the run game or the pass game. Otherwise, it's going to be a long night. And here's the problem. Pass blocking and run blocking, we hadn't been effective at either one of them, so Hill doesn't have a lot of time, and there's no holes for the running backs either.
Hill looking to throw, sets and fires. Pass is intercepted, and he'll be taken down. That was number 7. He had one in the first half that he let get out of his hands, but Archibald this time gloms onto that one, and the turnover will give Mount Pleasant good starting field position here on this drive. It's going to begin from the Rocket 27-yard line.
Only had one wide out into the flat that time, number 21, Levi Patton, and just kind of looked him all the way in. And as you said, T-Roy, Archibald read the eyes of the quarterback and just jumped right in the line of sight and grabbed the ball out of there.
Brown this time will operate with 2 receivers to the right. One back behind him gets the call, drops the football, but as has been throughout this season, bounced right back into his hands. Jakari McClure.
Brings him second down and 11.
Yes, indeed. We had a golden opportunity at it, but they were fortunate enough to be able to get on that time, T-Roy, and we just didn't quite get there quick enough to be able to get on it ourselves.
Loss of a yard on the play. It'll bring up now for Mount Pleasant, 2nd and 11 from the Rocket 29-yard line. Clock continues to move here. Under 7.5 minutes left in the third. Mount Pleasant trying to take advantage of the turnover here.
They inching closer on defense.
Brown, little option, inside keeper. Brown in the clear. It's going to be a foot race, and he will win it. Nick Brown.
You asked for more Brown, you got more Brown, Troy.
Yeah, the old question, what can Brown do for you? We just saw it, a 29-yard touchdown scamper.
And Troy, he was able to get right there to that second level so quick. They won their blocks right at the line of scrimmage, and he just stopped for a second and surveyed the field. He seen a slight little cutback, got north and south quickly, and athletic, but he got some long strides that'll get him there rather quickly.
Point after try is up, and it is good. And Mount Pleasant now has taken a 42-0 lead here over the Rockets.
Know that with Apex Banking Online, you can access your accounts, pay bills, and send money to friends and family anytime. Our online banking feature gives you the advantage of secure banking right from anywhere. With our mobile app and online services, banking has never been more convenient. We're here to serve you wherever you go. Visit us in Chapel Hill or call 931-246-7105. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Joseph Fowler and his outstanding staff are dedicated to providing the most effective, clinically superior physical therapy humanly possible. They make it easy to get back in the game by accepting most insurances, including Medicare. They specialize in total joint replacement rehab and orthopedic conditions. They'll help get your range of motion, flexibility, and your strength back. They even assist in dizziness and balance disorders. Get yourself back in the game at Benchmark Physical Therapy, 4654 Nashville Highway.
Yeah, running. Welcome back, 41-0. I was a little premature. They have just been hammering the extra points, missed that one. So 41-0 now, Tigers. 6:03 left here in the third quarter.
Ball's been going into the end zone, Troy, so let's see if we get an opportunity maybe to set up a wedge and get a little lane to run through.
Noble, very few weaknesses found here for Mount Pleasant. From the 10, Bell, 15-20, tries to get outside and taken down there. Good downfield coverage again. And Noble, you just see the abundance of athletes that Mount Pleasant has on the field. That was Jeffrey Williamson, number 11, to make the stop.
Yes, indeed. We had us a wedge set up that time, T-Roy, but they kind of got down so fast and kind of went around the wedge that time, and we got outside of the wedge, and they brought us down in open field that time. A lot of speed. Those gunners there, they get down there real fast, T-Roy.
Hill operating again, and the officials will step in here. We got a penalty marker.
Legal substitution called against the Rockets.
Rockets with a penalty in Noble. And here's the thing. I mean, you're thinking about right now, they haven't had many penalties. They've had a few. They haven't had but one turnover tonight, and it's 41-0.
It is, T-Roy. It certainly is. And Mr. Sweeney going to tell us not many offensive plays either for the Tigers.
Give up the middle. That Mount Pleasant defense stiffening as a quick 5 on first down for Cohen Grissom.
Whole lot of red jerseys, Troy, and that's just been the story of the night. A lot of athletes on both sides for the Tigers, and we just been talking about that. You said girth. And, man, if you just look up front, you take 64 and 69. They've been in the backfield all night. Those two young men there, probably solo tackles. I would venture a guess they got at least 15 apiece.
69 is a rather large young man, but he's pretty nimble. I am impressed. When you see a guy that's his size, you're expecting him to be pretty sedentary, not going to move side to side very well. 69 moves very well, and he definitely does his job of filling the hole.
And I'll tell you what, Troy, he has a high IQ also, because the Rockets have tried to cut him low. They've tried to get him low a couple times, and he does a great job of using the little two-hand shiver and pushing him to the ground and kind of getting around. So he's been fighting off blocks and hitting the gap a lot.
3rd and 5, back to the ground, not a lot there. That one, Grissom just continues to fight. He'll get what he can, Noble, but again, Mount Pleasant just collapsed that inside hole.
I was watching 69 as you were talking about, Troy, and he wasn't even blocked that time. He just and that I seen that agility you were talking about. He's pretty fast. He's pretty fast. He got in the backfield rather quickly. Now, there was a whole lot of other jerseys back there as well with him, a lot of help from his teammates. But I was just looking at his quickness, and anybody who's watching at home, you got an opportunity to see number 69. Watch him line up right there and watch how quick he gets up out of his stance and gets in the backfield.
4th and 4. Hill trying to get the cadence there to get them off sides, but was not able to draw them off. And timeout's going to be taken by the Rockets. We'll take a break quickly. We'll return.
Funeral home and cremation services had its beginning in 1939 when Thomas H. Lawrence established the business. Lawrence Funeral Home has always strived to provide compassionate, dignified, and professional service to every family it serves, regardless of their circumstances. Lawrence Funeral Home pledges to the families of Marshall and surrounding counties to continue providing excellence in funeral service. In your time of need, our family is there for your family. Lawrence Funeral Home and Cremation Service.
Stop in and visit Mack Equipment, your largest Exmark and Cub Cadet dealer in the state of Tennessee. Locally owned and operated in the heart of Chapel Hill at 109 North Horton Parkway, next to Southern Roots Hair Salon. Mack Equipment offers parts, sales, service, and rental. Their factory-certified technicians also service multiple brands of outdoor power equipment, making this a perfect stop for your future equipment repairs. Don't forget to visit our 2 other locations in Murfreesboro and Lewisburg. That's Mack Equipment.
4th down pitch, and Grissom no chance. Mount Pleasant had great penetration that time, and Grissom taken down for a loss on the play. Turnover on downs.
And back in the backfield again, McClure was back there, and 64. So they just keep calling the same names over and over again, T-Roy. And let me say something to you about this defense for the Tigers, Troy. Number 64 and 69, they have not yet taken a snap off on defense. They have played every defensive snap. And that is impressive for 69 to play every defensive snap.
Timeout will be taken by the Tigers. 2:07 left here in the 3rd. We'll take a quick break as well. We'll be right back.
Hey, there's my girl. Who's that?
Life can be uncomfortable. Your home doesn't have to be. Ream heating equipment was designed to bring affordable comfort to any home. So no matter your budget, we can help you feel comfortable, even when you can't be comfortable.
Oh, come on! Yes, let's go!
When it's time for a tune-up or a new HVAC system, contact the trusted pros at Clint's Air Care for expert service and installation.
And welcome back. Tigers take the quick timeout. Noble, they've kept a lot of their frontline players in here, and you think about them next week. They got a first-round playoff game in one stretch. They don't want to get those guys hurt, but in another, I think they're trying to send a message for years to come.
They are, T-Roy. They also trying to keep that 0 on the board as well.
Yeah, got the backups in here. They're going to throw down the field. Pass is incomplete, and getting back there was Hill. He got a hand on it, but the receiver actually had a chance. He never turned around, Noble.
The receiver didn't even know the ball was in there at T-Roy, so had no clue that the ball was in there at that time. And McClure, T-Roy, he called his name a lot on defense. Jaden McClure, number 1, he's quite an athlete. He probably is number 3 on defense tonight as far as having the third amount of tackles on defense, and he plays both ways.
14, John Michael Wright is in at quarterback now for the Tigers, and he looks like he can rip it pretty well as well.
Yeah, he had plenty of air under that ball, T-Roy.
2nd and 10 now as they work from the gun. 2 receivers to the right. Give up the middle, not a lot there as the Rockets clogged that one up at the line of scrimmage.
He did a great job of clogging it up because the running back, he just got up there and kind of stopped. He didn't have anywhere to go, so he didn't look like he wanted to hit that hole very hard either.
Big Mikey Stoddard, Jordan Bishop there plugging the hole. Got some help from Bryce Tankersley over from the corner. Now 3rd down and 9 for the Tigers as we're under a minute left here in the third quarter.
Got some young wide receivers out here, T-Roy, so we'll see if they put the ball in the air on this down.
Rockets creep close to the line of scrimmage. They go back to the ground trying to get wide. Cut back 25 to the 20 and taken down there as that was Cohen Grissom again. And Noble, he's made himself quite active here. On the carry was Jakari McClure. As he will reach the 20, it'll be 4th down, and looks like the Tigers will kind of keep their offense out here on 4th and 6.
Yes, indeed. Cohen Grissom, I got him down for 2 solo tackles, so he's doing a fine job.
Mount Pleasant's just going to let the time expire here in the third quarter. So 3 in the books here, 1 final quarter left in this Rocket season. They trail by a score of 41-0.
That's the end of the 3. That'll take us to the 4th quarter.
This broadcast on TC Sports 1 brought to you by Advanced Eye Care Clinic, home of the real Dr. J, Dr. Jeffrey Jordan. By Amigos Mexican Grill, authentic Mexican cuisine. By Apex Bank, a top performer amongst Tennessee community banks. By Benchmark Physical Therapy, where they'll get you back in the game. By Brooks Grocery, where you'll find your next favorite food. Also brought to you by Dr. William Bell at Chapel Hill Family Dentistry. By Clint's Air Care, your local Ream dealer. By Farm Bureau Insurance, auto, life, health, and homeowners. By First Commerce Bank, your first choice for hometown banking. We're brought to you by Highway 99 Storage, now with climate control units. By J&J Automotive, your one-stop auto shop. By Lawrence Funeral Home and Cremation Services, serving since 1939. By Lewisburg Animal Hospital, your other family doctor. By Mack Equipment, your local Cub and Exmark dealer. And by the town of Chapel Hill, moving forward with strong tradition.
Into the 4th quarter here, 4th down for the Tigers, and we've got a penalty marker that will fly here. Should back them up 5, a legal procedure. So it'll make it now 4th down and 11 for the Tigers.
I got a corner offsides, T-Roy, for the Tigers. Wide receiver. Getting an early start. I apologize. Got turned around there. Wide receiver. So, yes, indeed.
Brown and company getting the rest of the night off here. 4th and 11 as the Tigers will keep their offense on the field here. Snap from the gun, straight back to throw. Man back there, pass incomplete, and that one right through the hands of the intended target. That was Witherspoon, and that was just simply a quarterback made a great throw, and that one went right through his hands.
He's been the intended target more than once, T-Roy, so he's going to be somebody. He's a junior, but quarterback might stop looking his way if he keep doing that.
I'm like, dude, man, how much better did I have to throw that one?
Yeah, as I said, he might quit looking his way if he continues to do
not horrible coverage. Rockets had him pretty well defended, but that was just a great throw from your backup quarterback.
Tankersley was there, and he just put the ball up high enough for his wide receiver to get it.
To the ground they go, and maybe a yard there on first down. That's Bell. And
yes,
Bell.
Fellas, we're not going to see. We haven't seen Swift, so I think they have kind of just.
No, I've been watching him. He hadn't played the second half. T-Roy, he's been over on the sideline. He has not played the second half. Defense.
Yeah, I've kind of waited to see if they would give him a shot, but he's going to fall just shy of his 1,000. They go back to the ground, nothing doing. Wow. Bell had absolutely no chance. Mount Pleasant almost took the handoff.
And I'll say this, Troy.
There's that big fellow again.
Yeah. This is the only time he'll come out. His headgear came off. Regulations mean he got to come on. Troy, I'll say this. Based upon the success that the Tigers are having on defense, I'm going to take my hat off to the coaching staff because I know they probably had to hold Swift out. So that's a good call. That's a good call. Everybody welcome to have their opinion on that, but it's a good call holding that young man out second half based upon the way this defense is showing up.
3rd and 10. Heel to throw. Got a little time this time. Down the field. Pass is caught. Sliding grab as he was about to go out of bounds. And that was very nicely done by Levi Van Patten.
Yes, indeed. He gave his quarterback a whole lot of confidence in him. Unfortunately, for the Tigers, whenever they quarterback tries to throw the ball, they don't give him a lot of confidence. But that time, Hill said, I got confidence in you, Van Patten.
Mount Pleasant had a little hard time adjusting that time. They go back to the ground quickly. Pickup of about 3, maybe 4 on the play. As that's going to be Antonio Marable into the contest, another one of those freshmen. Pickup of about 3, and Noble, he's one of those guys I look to make a big jump from freshman to sophomore year.
Yes, indeed. That's usually where you see the biggest jump. Freshman year, you come in, you put a little size on you, get in the weight room, you start to learn the plays. But that second year, that's where the jump is at.
Heel to throw. Down the field, pass incomplete. He was intending that one for Ayers at about the midfield stripe. It'll bring up now 3rd down as the clock continues to move. One update for you in the battle for second in Region 5. Loretto has retaken the lead over Richland, 21-19 score in the 3rd quarter.
Sounds like that game might even shift again next time you get ready to break in, T-Roy.
Marshall County has taken a 2-score lead now over Greenbrier, 21-7 Tigers there.
It's top heavy in that region there with Marshall County and Pearl-Cohn there, T-Roy. Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed, top heavy over there. So 1 and 2 is what they came in at. 1 and 2 is how they'll finish in that region.
3rd and 7, back to the ground game, eluding a couple of tacklers. Good hard running, trying to stretch it out. Will he get to the sticks? Because keeps pushing forward. He got it.
Look at the legs. Look at them
that.
Squats, boy.
That is what you expected, or what I had seen from him at the middle school level. And watching him in the offseason, Marable, he just drug a couple of guys with him. It was like having one of those big, heavy parachutes just attached to your back and just dragging that thing along.
That's a lot of red jerseys he was taking for a ride, Troy. And did you see the legs? I know my man
that was
Corey,
churned.
I know my man Corey had it locked in. You could see it at home, but I was able to look at that. Those legs, I could see the gray pants just keep churning.
Good job there by Marable. Picked up the 1st down at the 48. Trying to get that goose egg off the scoreboard. Back to the ground again. He'll go up the middle. And again, just fighting until finally 4 or 5 red-clad Tigers will push him back. Gain of about 4, maybe 5 here on 1st down.
It's Liam Bell that time, T-Roy.
Was it? Okay, I thought that was Marable again.
Sir,
I'm sorry.
That's Liam Bell. You know he got a lot of drive in the lower legs.
Under 7 minutes as that clock continuing to move here. Rockets playing for some pride right now, trying to get a score on the board to close this season out. Hill rolling. He'll tuck and run. 45 to the 40, out of bounds at the 35. Good job by Ryan Hill. That was a designed quarterback roll and run. And Hill picks up his first down.
Liam Bell, one more time, T-Roy, showing you what teamwork looks like. He peeled back and put a little two-hand shiver on one of the Tigers that time and allowed Hill to be able to pick up those additional 7 yards.
So Rockets with a first down now as they have reached the Tiger 35 here. 6 minutes approximately remaining here in this Rocket season. Trying to get on the board. Hill looking down the field. Pass toward the sideline is incomplete. Defender got back there and was able to knock that one away. And that was Archibald.
Brings up second down.
I believe that was that Van Patten on the.
That was Van Patten,
Yeah.
T-Roy. He ran a beautiful route. Unfortunately, Archibald, he was able to read the quarterback, and he fell back into the flat that time. But Van Patten did a beautiful job. He ran down the field 12 yards, planted his foot, made it look like he was going to run a little drag route inside, took the defender inside, then he bounced it back outside. Had Archibald not dropped back, that would have been a reception for a first down.
Second down and 10. And no, I'm just thinking about what's going through these seniors' minds right now. Very little time left in their high school career as Hill got pressure, threw it across the middle, pick. The 35 to the 40. Hughes with the interception. And he'll return it out to about the 42, and that may be the last best chance for the Rockets.
Yeah, a lot of red jerseys in there that time, T-Roy, and only one white jersey to be able to get it in between there. And
He had a ton of pressure coming right up the middle, right at him.
Well, he had a ton of pressure all night, T-Roy, and I tell you what, I don't hear the word ton used lightly. That's a lot. That's a lot of yes, indeed. I think you know what I'm getting at.
I know what you mean
yes,
there.
Indeed, a ton of pressure.
Yeah. I tell you what, Mr. Alderson and Mr. Scherer have really made their presence felt here tonight.
You know they've been here. They showed up early and they've been here all night.
Early and often. Of course, the Tigers can just take their time and watch that clock continue to move. Outside at the 40, Marable trying to strip that football, but
Troy,
run,
I want to be
one on
real
the block.
clear with you. Now, you seem to be impressed with the freshman on offense, Antonio Marable. That young man came full sprint from the linebacker position, and he filled the hole, and then he slowed down, and he made the tackle. There was no chance of them breaking that tackle. I like him on defense just as well as you like him on offense.
Jason Barnett, hey, he's been good, and they were really expecting. Now, he had some injury trouble early on, and they were really expecting him to be one of their linebackers this year.
Well, I certainly see him making a campaign for middle linebacker next year.
Snap back. Ball lost. What happened? Running back was running. Quarterback gave him the football. I thought he had a grip on it. He just ran away from it.
Hey, that's what happened when you get the second team in there, T-Roy.
Oh, man. That was the same young man, Bennett, or Barnett there. And like I say, I thought the handoff had been executed. The next thing you know, he's still running and the ball's sitting on the ground.
He was running out the fake, T-Roy.
He was. He saw a hole big enough. He got so excited he left the football.
Oh, man, they'll get a chance to talk about it on the sideline with the coaches. Got to coach them up.
3 minutes left. Young man, I know you had a hole, but you got to carry the football with you.
Oh, that's important, huh?
Very important. Rockets with another shot here. Give. Inside handoff, Marable, and there's another one, a young man that's had his name called an awful lot tonight. That's Jaden McClure, number 1.
All night long, I'm certain he's the second or third leading tackle on that defense, T-Roy, and I don't think he's missed a snap either. And like I said, he played both ways.
You remember Schoolhouse Rock?
Yes.
Okay. You remember the one where I think it was 369, 12, 15, and the big guy comes and busts the whole tunnel out? 69 is that guy.
I got you.
He just takes up so much space, and he's a big fella coming at you. He's still in the game here late. I mean, that's a tough ask. If you got your younger guys in, try to block him.
Yes, and hey, I tell you what, the older guys was having a difficult time blocking him, and now you're going to ask some younger guys to block him. But I tell you what, the conditioning, Troy, for 69 to play every snap except the one where they had to take his headgear off, where his headgear came off, that is impressive,
hey,
Troy.
He is a really good football player. I mean,
excellent football player.
Yeah. Under 2 minutes left now as the clock continues to move. Third down, we'll call it 8 for the Rockets.
Watch him here in a four-point stance. Watch him get out of his stance.
Hill got plenty of pressure, gets it to Van Patten, who tries to elude a tackle, gets out of the first one, but Archibald right there to clean it up. They'll bring up 4th down, gain of a couple. It'll bring up now 4th and 5 for the Rockets as the clock continues to move as we're about to the 1 minute mark.
See the defense, the speed, the east and west for the Tigers. He had to break 2 tackles in order to try to get him first.
I'm going to tell you, last week we talked about East Robertson and how we felt maybe they were vulnerable in the playoffs. I don't see anybody touching this group for the first couple of rounds.
Oh, no, you can't find any vulnerabilities here, T-Roy. This is a solid group.
This has been a great team here. And give this coaching staff some credit from Mount Pleasant. They had some athletes. They didn't always get the results they wanted. This staff has got these guys in position and playing hard. Hill, downfield, got a man, pass incomplete. It was just a little behind the intended target as he was running across the middle. That was Ayers. Pass will fall incomplete, and Mount Pleasant will take over on downs and maybe not have to snap it again. Clock continues to move.
And Ayers was going in a direction. He would have been able to take that towards the sideline and have a legitimate chance of maybe turning that upfield somewhere around the 15-yard line, T-Roy.
Mount Pleasant's just going to mercifully let the clock run out. They won't have to snap it again as we're under 10 seconds, and that will close the curtain on what has not been the season that the Rockets wanted. They will close at 3-7 and out of the playoffs with a season-ending 41-0 loss here at the hands of Mount Pleasant. We'll take a break. We'll be back to wrap this season up after this.
Yes, sir. Yes, I did.
Hometown banking. It's having your decisions made by a bank right here in your town, not in another city, county, or even state. It's neighbors and friends who know your name and take the time to greet you when you walk in. It's modern technology such as online banking and mobile check deposits while still being able to talk to a living, breathing human. Come visit us at 4641 Nashville Highway or call us at 364-7888. First Commerce Bank.
And welcome back here as Mount Pleasant shows why they are the cream of the crop right now in District 5 AA play.
Tonight's Offensive Player of the Game, sponsored by Chick-fil-A of Columbia, is number 30, Austin Hicks.
And welcome back, Mount Pleasant, with the 41-0 victory here tonight. And fellas, just a a cap on a tough season.
Yes, indeed, Troy. Summation, Troy, what I seen towards the end, I seen a couple seniors. They gave their all season. We've been playing running back by committee, but I seen where Swift wasn't able to come back into the game second half, and even Chris Davis had to put on his Letterman jacket, Troy, so he wasn't able to finish the game, and these are seniors, and it hurts me. It hurts me spending a little time with these guys over the season to be able to see them in their senior campaign not be able to play completely throughout their whole final game.
Yeah, and what a way to close this season out. A disappointment enough, individual goals they weren't able to accomplish either, and they head into an off season right now where probably more questions than answers right now. Ricky, let's wrap it up.
All right, Troy. Rockets rushed it 37 times for 85 yards in tonight's game. Hill 6 of 15 with 2 interceptions tonight for 83 yards. Total offense for the Rockets 168. Mount Pleasant 24 rushes for 271. 5 of 9 passing for 88. Total offense for Mount Pleasant 359. I'll give you the Rocket individual totals and we'll wrap it up. Ryan Hill 7 carries for -24. Tayton Swift 5 carries for 29. Chris Davis 9 carries for 47. Liam Bale 8 carries for 11. Cohen Grissom 4 carries for 8 yards. Landon Groenfeld 1 carry for 4 yards. Antonio Marable 3 carries for 10 yards. Pass catching tonight for the Rockets. Chris Davis caught 2 for 58. Smeet Patel 1 for 7. Landon Groenfeld 1 for 5. And Levi Van Patten 2 for 13 in tonight's game. Rockets lose it 41-0 here at Mount Pleasant.
Well, fellas, not what we anticipated, and we do want to thank all of our fine sponsors once again. We ask that you go out and support these fine folks, and before we close out for a final time for this football season, do want to remind you we'll be back, of course, for basketball. That'll take place. I think the first game is like November the 15th, so we got a few weeks off, but do want to thank all of our fine sponsors tonight. First Commerce Bank, the Town of Chapel Hill, Amigos Mexican Grill, Lewisburg Animal Hospital, Brooks Grocery, Chapel Hill Family Dentistry, Advanced Eye Care Clinic, J&J Automotive, the Chapel Hill Farm Bureau, Highway 99 Storage, Apex Bank, Benchmark Physical Therapy, Lawrence Funeral Home, Mac Equipment, Quince Air Care. All of these folks helping us out this year to allow us to bring you these broadcasts. We certainly appreciate them. More importantly, our first year of doing this is TC Sports 1. Appreciate Ricky and Noble more than they will ever know. We've been doing this for a while and kind of a new venture this year, and you guys have just been great as always, and we appreciate Gabe and Corey and Peter that have come on and helped us do the filming and the computer and kind of pump some new life into us old folks here. So we certainly have appreciated that. Have appreciated all the listeners and viewers out there, their patience and us trying to kind of get our feet about us the first couple of games. We certainly appreciate that. And as always, you don't know how much we appreciate you just giving us a chance to come into your homes each and every week and allow us to have a little fun while we're doing it. Not the result we wanted this year, but, of course, these seniors want to wish them the best of luck as they continue their careers and where they head into the workforce or on to college. We have certainly enjoyed what they have brought to this program. Fellas, any final thoughts?
I just want to thank you for your passion and what you do here and your love for Forrest School. You're not a Forrest graduate, but we have taken you into our community, and we are glad you're here, and we appreciate your passion for what you're doing.
Troy, again, I concur with what Mr. Sweeney says. Student athletes. You give these opportunities for these young men here to be household names, and I appreciate that. Spent some time this week in the school building. I seen some student athletes, and I was glad to see that those young men there, some in particular, were doing well in the classroom, so they have a bright future as some of them pass this football field.
Fellas, once again, thanks for all that you do. We will close this season out here, not the season that we wanted, as the Rockets will finish it up at 3-7. Do want to remind you, of course, we'll be back with you as always for ladies and gentlemen's basketball beginning here in about 2 or 3 weeks. Until that time, for Mr. Ricky Sweeney, Mr. Noble Mays, Mr. Gabe Hall, and Mr. Corey Clark tonight, This is Troy Cashin. Have yourselves a great night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Your final here tonight, Mount Pleasant 41 and Forrest 0.